wild. But after that, Nathan just did not want to think about it or talk about it, and so he kind of just, pushed it out of his mental space and did forget about it. He moved on. 5 months later, in August of 2006, Nathan's mom would move out of that apartment building and she would move into a 2-story house still in Elk Grove, California. Shortly after she moved in, she asked Nathan if he would come spend a couple nights with her, and Nathan said sure. In order to better understand what happens to Nathan over the course of his stay at his mother's new house, you need to understand a basic layout of her house. So when you walk through her double doors, to your left is going to be a formal living room. In the center of the house is a hallway that shoots straight back to the kitchen. And then to your right when you walk in, there's a wall, and on that wall is the stairs leading up to the second floor. If you take those stairs to the second floor, you reach a landing where there's a window that looks back into the backyard, and immediately to your right, there is a single door, and that's the master bedroom where Nathan's mom would sleep. From the landing, if you turned left, there'd be another door that's a mirror image of the master bedroom door, and this door is the guest room. That's where Nathan was going to stay. And then to the left of the guest room was a hall that went to the front of the house, but that's irrelevant to the story. If you went inside the guest room, the bed was located in the back right corner, so the same layout as the guest room in the apartment building, where the person laying in the bed, so Nathan, his feet would be closest to the door. And from Nathan's perspective in the bed, the only other piece of furniture in this new house guest room was a table that was, from his perspective, on the right-hand wall, centered on the wall, and on the table was a TV. So that's the only things in the room. The first night Nathan was at this new house was totally uneventful. The second night, not so much. He was up in the guest room, laying on the bed, watching TV. The lights are off, it's just the TV on, and at some point, he dozes off. He wakes up a short time later, and he can't move. It's the same sensation he had when he was staying with his mom at her apartment. And he begins to panic because the last time he felt this way, a strange veiled woman stood on his chest and made it feel like he was dying. And so immediately, he's trying to move his body, he can't. And so using his eyes, he starts looking around the room, praying this woman is not in the room with him. And so he looks to the right, to that corner, which he can see. There's no one there. From this corner, he starts scanning across the room. He sees the TV, it's still on. He keeps scanning and he sees the door and it's open. And then he scans and he's able to just barely make out the space at the foot of the bed. He can actually see to the corner, and this woman, she's not in here. And so initially, he feels incredibly relieved that she's not in the room with him. But then he finds himself focusing on the open door into the dark hallway. And he's thinking to himself, please do not come walking through that door. And so he stares at the open door, just hoping he breaks out of the sleep paralysis, when he notices something about the TV. It's flickering. And so he averts his gaze to the TV, and he realizes what he's looking at on TV does not look familiar. It does not look like a TV show. It looks like CCTV camera footage, like it looks like a security camera footage. And he realizes the footage he's looking at is the inside of his mother's kitchen downstairs. He recognized the way it was laid out. That's his mother's house. That's downstairs. And he's staring at the footage thinking, why is this footage playing on the TV? And I don't think there's a camera down there. When he notices on the camera, the woman with the veil walks into the middle of the frame, and she looks up at the camera right as the camera turns off. And then the room is completely dark. There's no more ambient light in the room. The hallway is dark, and he's left paralyzed knowing this woman is downstairs in the kitchen. And as he's laying there, he hears her start running through the house. And it sounds like an animal is barreling into things as she's running through the bottom floor, and she stops at the foot of the stairs. And he's thinking to himself, I know where she's going. She's coming up to my room. And so as he's laying there, he feels his heart racing and he's staring at the open door. He knows she's gonna come flying up those stairs and she's gonna come through that door. And instead of running up the stairs, he hears her take 1 step, 2 step. And as she's making her way up the stairs, he's just thinking, please break out of this trance, stop this paralysis, wake up, wake up. And then he sees her head emerge, and she turns to look at him from the stairs into the room. And once she sees it's him, she bolts around and starts charging into the room on all fours like an animal. At this point, Nathan lets out a primal scream. He is scared for his life as this woman is charging towards him, and she stops dead in her tracks right in the middle of the room. She looks at him, turns around, and crashes out of the room, charges downstairs, and then it's silent. As soon as she was downstairs, Nathan could sit up. Except it did not feel like the first time he had sleep paralysis at his mom's apartment, when he sat up and he had the sensation of relief. You've woken up. You were asleep before, now you're awake. This time, it was like he was always awake, but now he can sit up. He did not have a sense of relief. In fact, he was worried she was still in the house. And as he's sitting up in bed, his mother comes running into the room. She looks disheveled, she's half asleep, and she's like, was that you? Were you running around the house? I could have sworn I heard someone running around the house. Was that you? Nathan's looking at her and he can't even process what he's been through, whether that was real, whether it was a dream. And he's trying to find the words to describe to his mom the dream he had, but like he can't process what's happening. And he just says, Mom, we have to check the house. We have to make sure no one's in the house. And so the two of them flip on every light upstairs. They're not even talking. At this point, it's survival mode. They turn on all the lights upstairs, and Nathan leads the way down, and they're flicking on all the lights, and they manage to search the whole house, and there's no sign of a break-in. There's no one in their house. After the coast was clear, and they felt like they were not in immediate danger, they went into the kitchen to kind of talk about what just happened. And so Nathan's like, okay, Mom, I just got to tell you everything that I'm thinking right now. I can't really process what just happened. I think it was a bad dream, but I'm starting to think that it could be something else, or I'm just losing my mind. So a few months ago, I was sleeping in your guest room in your apartment, and I had an experience that I'm almost positive was sleep paralysis. You know, I was laying there, I couldn't move, and this figure was in the room, and they were standing on me. It was terrifying, but it sounded an awful lot like sleep paralysis. But then a couple months after that, I talked to my sister, and I told her about it, and she told me that very recently, right before you moved into this house actually, she was in that room and she also had basically the exact same experience. She had never had sleep paralysis before. I had never had sleep paralysis before. So we've basically had the exact same horrifying experience in the same room around the same time. And then just now, tonight, I had another sleep paralysis experience with the same woman who was running around the house, and you just said you heard her running around the house. His mom looked really concerned, but she wasn't shocked. She says to Nathan, I have seen this woman. I saw her in my apartment way long time ago, but I remember what you're describing. That's the experience I had. This woman, showed up in the room and she stood on me, and it scared the heck out of me, but I didn't tell anyone because I thought it was sleep paralysis. And so Nathan and his mom proceeded to spend the next several hours just talking through what this could be. How could they, all three of them, him, his mom, and his sister, how could all of them have had the exact same experience? And how could tonight, when Nathan had this experience, how could his mom have heard those footsteps if that was indeed sleep paralysis? Because it wasn't Nathan, he was in the bedroom. And it wasn't his mom, she was in her bedroom. And she didn't have any pets, so who could it be? Nathan says he and his family are still totally rattled by this experience, and they don't have an answer. And this is a family of skeptics, so they're not looking for a reason to call this paranormal. They simply don't have the answers. Nathan has said that he, his mom, and his sister have not had any further experiences with the woman in black ever since that last experience Nathan had, and they're just hoping it stays that way. So that's going to do it, guys. If you found the secret in today's episode, let us know in the comments what it is and where you found it. Give us the timestamp. And if you're the first person to do that, we will pin you at the top of the comments section. If you enjoyed today's video and you haven't done this already, please eat all of the like button's Oreos except for one, and then put the box back in the pantry, and then also crumple all of their potato chips. Also, please subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our weekly 3, 4, even 5 video uploads. If you want to get in touch with me, you can direct message me on Instagram or on Twitter, where my username is the same. It's JohnBallin416. I also have a ton of content over on TikTok, where my username is Mr. Ballin. If you have a story suggestion, and in fact, today's top story was a user suggestion, please submit it to our subreddit just called Mr. Ballin. It's linked in the description below. So whether I see you on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, YouTube, or some combination, just know that I really appreciate your support. And until next time, that's going to do it. See ya. Today, I'm going to share 3 stories that scared me. But before we get into those stories, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right channel, because that's all we do, and we upload 3 or 4 times every week. So if that's of interest to you, please kidnap the like button, tie them up, and then forcibly brush their teeth, and then make them drink orange juice afterwards. Also, please subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so you don't
No, it's good. It's definitely good. Yeah.
Although
what weighs much heavier on my mind is the fact that Kai'Sa got through. Because I think this pick, when it comes to 1v9 potential, is almost unmatched. And it is right now the best poke champion in the game. So what you can do, you can just fish with W's, and then if you have an angle like Zeka goes in, Grizzly ults, and you die.
Oh, no Smearl!
Oh no.
No Smearl here in game 1. I'm so sad.
I thought because I wasn't casting with Atlas, I would be freed of this.
Nah, I had to carry the torch. I mean, play-by-plays, we stick together.
I don't like that. I don't like
you
that.
You still have the potential for Rel.
Yeah, Rel's
right?
good.
But no combination with the Samira. So let's see what we do have. There's a lot of focus on the bottom lane here.
Yeah.
Nautilus as well. What if they play Zerion?
Oh, no.
We did just see, for you guys who are joining this series, Henna play it in the first one.
I think you just go Xayah Rakan. If neither gets banned away, which I think one of them will. I don't know which one.
Well, I don't think you'll get both as T1.
Well, you'll pick Rakan and then.
Yeah.
So I think.
So
I think you have to pick Rakan here now if you're T1, and you know you can go for a Neela R5. Guma's played it. He got a POG on Neela, and go for it.
Yeah.
But you pick Rakan here because otherwise you're playing into Rakan and Kai'Sa.
Maybe you
Yone
force a Draven lane.
Oh.
Pick Rel, take Draven, try to shut down the Kai'Sa.
Yeah, might as well try. Because if this gets out of laning phase...
Because it is Guma as well, and he is definitely one of our Draven players.
Yeah, he has a Poppy as well to try and hard force a play towards that bot side of the map. Set up for a guaranteed cash-in. This is Grizzly's comfort. Would make complete sense. This is the pick that he really impressed on, even though they ended up losing this match after a very lackluster debut on the Maokai. Came back, showcased his chops on the Viego, and that is going to be the pickup here. Rakan, to me, seems like the no-brainer.
Yeah, it does. I think that playing Rakan into Poppy can be very annoying.
It is,
but
sure.
It is really strong. Kai'Sa Rakan is a very strong lane, but it doesn't necessarily
maybe Alistair
help too much against the Draven Rel lane. So yeah, the Alistair seems like a good middle ground.
Yeah, you give up a little bit. Obviously, Alistair can still engage. Yeah. So as I was saying, I think the benefit of the Rakan is that the follow-up engage is unmatched, right? Of being able to go in with the rest of the team. As you read it very nicely, this is definitely a...
Could still swap it to Neela.
I mean, I would be fine with either, frankly. But I think it will end up being Draven, particularly because the composition does allow for them to play towards this Draven.
Aphelios.
That is a very different angle. And to be fair, like looking at the Hanwha comp, yes, say you win lane, right? You're a 2-0 Draven. Then look at what you're playing into.
Yeah.
I think Aphelios can still have a tough time, obviously, with this amount of dive. But if you have your summoners up, I do actually think you have some potential to survive and make plays. And I think with Draven, it's a lot harder. Because you need more time, unless you're really, really fed.
Yeah, you can see there was a lot of thought that went into the idea.
Yeah.
You know, like Guma was looking uncomfortably. He's like, oh, I don't know. Like they were hovering the Draven for the longest time. And then eventually they're like, okay, no, Aphelios, as he calls for it, or Tom calls for it. Not 100% sure, but they make a decision as a team. Okay, we want to play with this Aphelios. And yeah, I mean, Aphelios, like you mentioned, you know, you were talking about playing Draven in this comp. Aphelios will at least go the Gale Force and can dodge some equalizers and stuff like that. And if you can dodge a lot of the engage, you will love all of these melee champions to just blow up and potentially fight back against with the Aphelios. That was the one that did not get banned away.
It also doesn't put as much pressure on the team to hard force in the early to mid game. And I think that's where T1 have really struggled, where they've looked out of sorts. I gotta say though, I love this Hanwha Live esports comp. I feel like you have a lot of winning lanes outside of bot side, and even that one is pretty neutral. And then your mid-game team fights are absolutely insane. We'll see if T1 can withstand, because this is a great mid to late game team fight comp. If you can get there unscathed, we'll see whether they're actually able to.
Yep, just gotta get there. We'll see if they can. Hanwha Life Esports coming out swinging in game number 1. We'll be curious to see if they can get across the line as well with some tempo in their favor, as it looks like we are just about ready to hop on the rift for game number 1. Let's do it.
생선까지 30초 남았습니다.
Here we go. Game number 1 between Life Esports and T1.
He didn't go Ignite. I bet he went Scorch as well.
Yeah, if we can get an update and let us know
Just-
if he went Scorch.
I mean, we're going to see it in a little bit. Just someone tag Hooney.
Yeah.
Someone let him know what is happening here.
Just reach out to Hooney and say, hey, Rumble
There's
went
another
teleport
one.
and Scorch.
Poor
Yeah,
Hooney,
it just
man.
really bugs Hooney. As a
It's like
lane
it's
himself.
Orcs with Emacs or you with Blast Cones. Me with certain words being pronounced certain
Mural.
ways. Yeah, there's also Kercheezies.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely going to get at least one in this game.
Oh, we will. Yeah, we're going to be shivving it up. Viper definitely going to go for it. Seen that build be insanely strong, very consistent.
Yeah. There's a lot of debate nowadays, and always it feels like, between who is the best AD carry in the LCK. Some would say Viper, others would say FaZe. Some would even go as far as to say, well, it could still be Guma. He just hasn't really had a team to play around, and he's been still playing well even while the team has been struggling.
We have
As,
confirmation.
by the way, it is Scorch.
We are, in fact, scorching the earth.
Yes.
And also your Hooney's approval is also getting...
Yeah, Hooney
Going-
now
it's
is
going up in flames.
unhappy with Kingen, just by default. Zek
But
has
he's
been
not even on the
fantastic.
desk.
Yeah, he's not even here. Wait, he might be casting on the green side, actually.
I haven't
I don't
seen him
think
all
so.
day. I don't think so.
No, I saw... No, I think it's Pony and Crowd Templar.
Yeah.
Crowd Templar? Cloud Templar.
Makes sense considering, you know, the...
And Sunke.
Yeah.
C-Sun just added him in the chat. Hooney, that is.
Perfect. Very important.
Yeah, but I was just curious. Who do you think it is? We don't have a lot of time to
don't-
discuss it, and people have
Yeah,
discussed it at length on talk shows and stuff. But
I don't
I'm just
know.
curious. Who's your pick, Chronicler?
I don't think it's FaZe, as good as I think he is.
Hmm.
Because I think that...
Well, okay. We're just trading flashes. I mean, Jonas Strong saw that
Right.
coming about 7 miles away.
Sure, Guma did as well. There's no way you walk that far up.
Why
and
is
not
he trading
expect-
flash with Rakan then?
I don't know. I don't think it's good. But like, I don't know why else you would be that far up. As with invade going through here, there is bot side priority. Even though Life is earlier to the roam, I do think that Life might have to let this one go. The Bear are gonna have to maybe give up his... Oh, looking for an angle on Guma, who does not have flash.
They saw him.
Yeah, he walked past the wave, so they know.
Grizzly, they know you're here. I mean, it's not like he can do
He knows as
gels,
well. Yeah.
So he's just hanging out.
I wonder if they're going to go for a counter invade here, or if we actually see a 3v3. Could either side I think could opt into this, but it's definitely riskier for Halma Life. I think the early power of Rel Poppy
Yeah, just let it go.
is a bit scary. And Grizzly also has cleared a little bit more of his jungle, so we'll be fine here. Just forced to back off for a little bit. Owner going to get double scuttle early on here. And I do think there's a lot of pressure on this Poppy to get things done in early. To get back to the discussion, I really don't know. I would have to like really look at some of the stats, some of the games. Guma is definitely still up there for me. Like, I don't know if I would say he was the best, but I think that he really is the prime example of better than the stats might show.
And then there's
Just-
like aiming, who's climbing the ranks.
Aiming is
kind of.
definitely climbing, but for aiming in regular split, I'm on board. Aiming in playoffs, though, I'm still waiting. Aiming does have a bit of a tendency to somewhat fail to deliver there.
I think that's fair, especially, I mean, he's looking better in regular season than other regular
He's
seasons.
been way better.
But
sure.
he has kind of struggled in
Yeah.
pressure situations
So-
in the past, so has he fixed that? It's a fair question.
I'd probably go Viper pace Guma or Viper Guma pace. I'm not too sure. I feel like those three are also very close, and you can make a case for each of them to be first. Deft has also been good, but I feel like it hasn't been as a standout of a season for him.
Yeah.
Last split, he had like a lot of Lucianami games that really put him at the forefront, but
Yeah, he's always great, but I feel like he hasn't quite... He did have like that one crazy Kaisao play.
yeah, he had
That's
the...
insane.
He just got POG for...
Yeah.
for James.
I mean, he's awesome. You know,
Yeah,
kind of
we're-
strong, but it's like...
We
We are blessed with our 80
We have a
carry
lot of good 80
pool.
carries.
Yeah, everybody's really good. And just to follow up on the Hooney story, he is not happy. tell you exactly what he said.
It was not encouraging.
6.
Zeus going hard.
I mean,
Immediate dominus. I don't know how much value he's going to get out of that, though. Oh, well, I guess you trade evenly. Because do note that there is no vision here for King and Radar. And as far as he knows, there might be a puppy underneath his, or in his tri-brush. In which case, once it gets to the turret, he will obviously die. So it doesn't take the risk and just trades. And that, in turn, will lead to a early Dragoneer in T1. Playing the early game out nicely, but I'm holding off any judgment until we get to Humble Life's team fighting, because that's where I think this comp should really excel. If they can sync up, you pointed out the Maokai ban earlier on during the draft, and specifically like Maokai, Rumble, and Yone has been a combination that we've seen a lot of in Challengers, and that is a nasty combo to play into. Looks very satisfying, feels great to play, not so much to play into, because the amount of layering of CC and damage you can do is great.
Yeah. The mid lane right now is not going very well for Zeka. He is great on the Yone in general. I feel like his mechanics are pretty insane, especially on melee champions, always has been. But Poby's really doing a number in the mid lane. He was missing some XP that was going into the turret, wasn't even a cannon wave, had to back for a second time. Jonas Strong was pointing that out to us with his excellent observing.
He's a storyteller, though.
Yeah, there's not much else happening in this game, so I think it's pretty cool. Poby doing a good job, and I mean, the Azir early on in the game always going to do this. A little bit less nowadays compared to other patches.
Yeah,
but still,
we've seen the. I don't think the Azir is like guaranteed prio anymore. I would love for these type of roams to actually turn into something, try and impact the bot lane, but probably going to be post 6 for Viper and Life before Zeka actually commits to roaming down. But yeah, I think the Azir's early laning phase has definitely been hit. We've seen Yones win this, though. Zeka actually has been able to like really punish Azir's early on. If they misstep, get hit by like 1 or 2 Qs, and then you can just keep aggressively trading by going forward, hitting a Q, maybe a W, and then snapping back. Particularly if you are aware of where Owner is, as Owner gonna walk into Grizzly here. But yeah, the Poppy definitely not feeling too afraid with red buff. Although,
red buff and
extended fight, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I mean, if they found Poby somehow, would have been pretty nice to try to go in on that. With a level 6 Viego right there, but not quite able to do so. Feels like both sides are really trying to avoid making any mistakes.
Yeah, we are really trying to feel out what the other team is doing. Zeus has been pushed into the turret, and it looks like he will be coming over here. Might have a 3v3 on our hands.
Owner's got to be really careful. Yeah, he's going to get comboed on so hard as the equalizer right on top of those two melee champs. They get on in as Zeka looking to extend. One more Q to do it, and Grizzly going to pick up a second kill as 2-0 now in favor of Humble Life, and they will take a free Rift Herald.
Exactly what we were talking about. This top side is lethal the moment you actually sync up for that 3v3, and you feel relatively safe if you're a Poppy. You have Steadfast Presence, but no opportunity to flash. Straight up, walks a little bit too close, doesn't flash, doesn't get the W off, and then it is the Q-W combo, and then by the time you CC'd, obviously the Zeka ult follows, no counterplay available, and they even get Poby, and it's this type of decisiveness from Grizzly, right, going for the flash W, that I think is why we've been so impressed with this player.
Yeah. He's just so consistent, and you can tell, like, the more he gets comfortable, the better he gets. So we're just like, how far can this guy go, you know?
It's a feel-good story. Unfortunately, not so much for T1. Losing this early jungle 2v2 really, really hurts. Poppy is one of those picks where, outside of really big ultimates, once you start falling behind in tempo, he does lose a lot of our impact as Poby. It doesn't have flash.
Yeah, he's dead. Yeah, this is the end of him. Down he will go. Grizzly gonna pick up a second kill now, as they set that one up beautifully, perfectly timed for Life to come roam into the mid lane. Humble Life Esports are pristine in this early game. They get that early pick, and now they're just running away with this game.
Just running them over. This is exactly why we were talking about Guma not actually having the opportunity to show anything. Because the map is already on fire. 10 minutes in, 2.5k gold deficit. Mid-jungle 2v2 looking like a disaster here. Grizzly and Zeka just keep up the pressure.
Yeah.
Poby doesn't have his ultimate. This is going to be Mid lane turret almost going down before it's even 11 minutes.
And, I mean, you remember what happened in the draft, if you were watching closely. They were hovering Rumble, they were holding on to it, and then they switched to Renekton. They picked the Renekton Azir. And eventually, you know, the Rumble immediately came out on the side of Homolife Esports, and you can see the way, you know, Rumble joins up for the 3v2 essentially in the river. And then after that, and even before that, he just starts to dominate the lane. And this Renekton is always going to have a really rough time. He has to lay his build a bit to pick up some MR. And yeah, this is what happens. You get an Oblivion Orb. Rumble already does a lot of damage even without items, especially new Rumble. So now Zeus is like, I wish I could play the game.
Yeah,
but I can't.
They opted into this, right? And I think that this was maybe a call from T1 that, hey, Homolife have had a lot of games where they're a lot more laid back, where they're actually playing pretty defensively, but they're not. Not anymore. Absolutely not.
They brought a grizzly bear into the.
He's looking for a snack. but what is really impressive to me?
Rabid in the greenhouse right now.
Oh God. Oh no.
Yeah, no, it's getting pretty brutal.
As we've taken a look, but this to me is the key difference, is that Life also has looked so much better. Is the one that sets up the play, and then the follow-up obviously is great. There's no flash, there's no ultimate, so Poby basically has 0 response time to try and get out of this. But Life looked, for the first few weeks of summer, just didn't look very good, and it was better than it was in spring. Spring was really rough. I think he was up there as one of the worst performing members of the teams, but he's been great as well.
Okay, so T1 are going to commit to this as 5 members are here, but Zeus is zoned away. So this could end up being a 5v4. Oh, the puppy ult, very nice. Going to get Grizzly out of here as Kingen with the team considering an angle, but instead they'll just let T1 get away with the Drake, and they won't overcommit on it. But T1 finding a very thin angle to pick that one up.
Infernal. And T1 actually, with this, picked up 2 Drakes. So this is a really big moment for Owner. Obviously didn't actually get the 3v3 the way he wanted, but getting that steal actually applies a meaningful amount of pressure as we get, because the soul is so valuable. It does limit some of the options that Homolife might have. Oh no, Poby. Oh, come on, guys. Leave Poby alone! I mean, he's decided, yeah, you leave.
Yeah.
I can't do anything.
It's a good angle, and I think it's a good angle for Homolife Esports as well. They know.
Oh, you target him 100%.
It's very obvious, right? Who's the weakest player right now in the Rift, and also the guy that didn't have Flash, right? So it's not even only about the player. They say, okay, we have oodles and boodles of engaged. Let's just get on top of this Azir. As Kingen just building up a nice little bar of damage, ready to go. As Zeus is like, wait, I just got here.
That was
I have Hex Drinker.
Yeah, life is not good for the Renekton. Again, opt-in from T1. Something that I hope to see change in the next draft. We'll see if they're able to come back, but this one is...
Zeus does that flash, but he just doesn't get to use it. That is excellently done. 3-on-1 in the top side. They find the angle once again with the Viego and the Rakan, and Kingen will enjoy a very scrumptious turret.
And on the cross map, T1 should be able to get some gold into Guma here. This is post-Blades, but you're trading very, very far down. That guy just able to queue over the wall completely fine, because the mid lane turret already gone. Top lane turret is going to get shoved in here and should also be taken by Kingen, who will be finishing his Demonic Embrace soon. And again, this mid-jungle, or support jungle duo, it's just been working so well. And you look at the Rakan, right? And we were worried about the Poppy. We knew that they were considering it. Rakan Kai'Sa has been a really strong combo, but if you don't play near the Poppy, you can still see the engage potential, the setup with the rest of the team working out really well here for Homolife.
As T1 just say, well, we're going to sit bottom until you answer this. And for now, I mean, there's no other objectives, so T1 are just kind of getting away with sitting in the bottom lane with 3 and escorting him around.
How much can Guma carry? This game is going to boil down to.
Good question. He has a stopwatch.
He has Kraken. You know, if he gets to like 3 items, they do have great peel.
No Gale Force against
it's going to take
the Fed
a while.
Viego Rumble. Rione.
Hey, yeah, don't forget about Rakan.
Guys, expressing our...
Yeah. Just name everyone. It's a fun game.
We didn't say it was going to be easy, but...
Nobody said it would be easy.
Yeah. If T1 has an angle in this game, it's through the Aphelios player, Guma. And, I mean, it's not like the other champions can't press their buttons, but they are very behind at this point in time. Half-Life going to pick up yet another Rift Herald for their troubles. And they have so many carries. We were talking about the amount of carries in the last series that DK had. This is...
yeah.
It's even more
it's everyone.
Abrasive.
You know, even Life at this point, I'd be scared of him. And what I really want to highlight is it's such a... We've seen this split in particular, I think, really the way in which the circumstances in which you come in, plus just the individual players' reactions to getting called up before they're really ready, has happened. Because for Poby, it's the same situation, right? He's forced into this because of external circumstances. Otherwise, would have needed a lot more time in Challengers to actually develop. Even him getting called up to Challengers was sharing the spot with Nice, who is now playing there.
Yes, the player's name is Nice.
He's called Nice, yeah, it's a really good name.
Yeah, just to avoid confusion.
There's also T1 Smash, who I really hope, that's also a wonderful name. Anyway, there's
also Plan B. Great league. You should check out Challengers on Monday and Tuesday.
Anyway, as we were saying, and I think that Poby is really a lot more realistic case where the player just struggles because the level of play in LCK is so much higher. We've even seen it with Paddock, who started off pretty okay and then kind of tapered off as the weeks have continued, and you get punished and punished over again. It's really easy to lose confidence, lose that productivity that you need to perform at the highest level.
So T1, they're trying to get position here in the mid lane. I thought maybe Half-Life Esports were going to collapse onto them, but Life and Zek are both in the bottom lane. So with Zeus now backing, he does have teleport. He will join up with the team here from the bottom lane.
They didn't spot him.
Oh, they have no idea. Life is just...
This is Bib Nessie.
Okay, that was a mistake.
Worlds.
As now, they do not have the Rel one, and they are just going to get boomed here in the river. Oh, it is just so one-sided.
Oh.
They don't have anything. I mean, Carrier just uses ult, tries to catch someone. They get a flash at a King in. It doesn't work out.
Maybe Owner can steal. That would still be big.
Oh, he's going to try.
Up and capture available.
Let's see how it goes. Owner is going to get into the pit, but again, this is 5v4 against some very fed Half-Life Esports members as the rockets are hitting Poby. The burns are coming down as now the Poppycopter begins to flash on into Kingin, who does not have his own flash, but Grizzly is in here. They might be able to get Kingin, but this Drake goes the way of Half-Life Esports. Poby is free food, and so will the rest of the team as a Q3 comes forward, hits both of them. Uma goes into his stopwatch. Is it going to be enough here? 1 Q from the Kai'Sa might be it as Grizzly on the Poppy stolen will finally be able to take out this pesky Aphelios.
Guma still did 5.5k damage, and it just doesn't matter, Valdez. As Half-Life, the bear picks up the dragon, and then they're a member down, and in the chaos.
He's 6-0, Grizzly. Is Academy the best league?
At this point, I don't even know. Carrier ends up going down, doesn't have his Magnus Storm to buy time, used it, did get the flash from Rumble, and at that point the equalizer was down. So here a lot of the cooldowns for Half-Life aren't there, which is why they're playing so defensive, right? They're actually biding their time, waiting, looking for an opportunity, waiting for the cooldowns to come back up. But then eventually, like Zeus doesn't have his Dominus, they try and take Kingin down. Will get him eventually, but
it takes a lot.
It takes so much, and they're still a member down. They don't have the CC. Viper is able to flash away from Poby's ultimate, so he doesn't get knocked into the back line. And then Guma, he's trying. In hindsight, you know, maybe if he doesn't stopwatch, he might kill Grizzly, but he would still die to the Kai'Sa. I don't think it really would have changed the outcome of the fight whatsoever. And if T1 would have gotten Soul Point there and Guma would have gotten 2 kills, you could be like, hey, maybe that you know, in like 20 minutes could be worth. Right now, though, not even remotely. Looks like Half-Life is going to set up around this Baron, and I'd say start it up. You know, you're so far ahead.
Do it.
Just force them to come into you.
Your
Force them
turn
to
is
fight.
insane. It's disgusting. I mean, even Yone and Rakan, but again, they have so many tools. We mentioned it so many times as T1 will be forced
all or nothing
to respond to this, but they have no vision. They just got to go into this one blind as the Wombo combo is right there on top of the Renekton. The damage is coming out from Guma. He's Gonna do a huge chunk here to Grizzly, who's just on the run, who picks up yet another double kill. Grizzly now 8-0 in this game, and again, Guma is just not given an angle.
All right, well, maybe if Guma can get some better augments, you know, he can make a way and get extra summoners.
No.
And maybe then he can care. No, it's not happening. Hanwha Life looking amazing here. It's just so clean. Right, we were ahead, start the Baron, make the turn, the double angle with Zeka going in with the Q, Life on the flank, T1 in desperation, try to make something happen with the Poppy ult, but it gets interrupted.
So clean.
This
Zeka.
combo, so clean, and Guma doesn't get the opportunity to do any damage. The front line does more than enough. Grizzly goes in the back, picks up a double kill just for good measure. And Hanwha Life looking amazing here on this first match.
Yeah, they definitely are. Started with the fight in the river, you remember, early on in the game, and since then, Grizzly has been growing even larger than we even imagined in the beginning. We'll have a Guardian Angel soon.
Just imagine how cool the rookie of the split vote would have been if not for PaYZE. Jiwoo, Grizzly.
Yeah, true.
But no, not happening.
Good old PaYZE.
Good old PaYZE.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey,
Now-
there's still time.
True. I mean, if you know,
It really
we'll
depends
see
on
what
PaYZE to
happens.
underperform rather in that case.
Yeah. Winning
hoping
in your
for
first
that
split
either.
kind of
Yeah.
helps.
Makes sense.
Oh, I don't see an angle here anymore for T1 because the Hanwha Life comp is really good at diving as well, right? Viper going for Darkseid as well. Wouldn't be surprised if he ends up upgrading into a Magi's. They can just sit and they can fire harpoons and Kai'Sa W's until someone looks relatively low, and then you press Kingan's ult, you press Zeka's ult, and everyone dies.
You look at this gold graph.
Oh.
That's how you push a lead, okay? Like
Yeah.
we've had a lot of teams. They're like, oh, we got in the lead. Let's bunker down. Let's wait 10 minutes, and maybe, you know, we'll fight over the Drakes if the enemy team decide. No, Hanwha Life Esports is like, we are doing the Baron in 20 minutes. We're so far ahead. We have amazing turn. We're playing around our composition. It's just really great stuff across the board, and it's going to be a second Infernal here in a second.
And it's understandable that T1 is struggling, obviously playing without Faker, who was a incredibly large part of the team shot calling, and just in the mid lane is a lot more stable than what Kobe, unfortunately, with his limited experience, can provide.
Any
But
damage per minute enjoyers?
it's also just a pleasure for Hanwha to be good, because we've been waiting for this kind of the entire year. And it just hadn't really happened yet.
Yeah.
This team has the talent.
Well, Kobe's going to trade his crown. And, I mean, you consider, like, Live Sandbox with Prince. They get him in. They start performing. Hanwha Life Esports, they get Grizzly. He's 8-0. He's just playing like a god. He looks so comfortable here. As T1 are really going to, I mean, I guess they have to, but it is just the one Infernal Drake. And again,
Life.
and again, this is going to happen. This time, Life who gets a massive 3-man flank. And it is just over right from there as Viper, they don't even need him. He's just going to come in for cleanup, as that's going to be the end of that. It's a triple kill for Viper. This game is over, and it was about 10 minutes ago as well. They will push the bottom lane, and that'll be the end of it.
It's a slaughter. Life having an amazing game on the Rakan, actually paying off. Grizzly and Zeka continuously on the offensive here.
This is why I wanted to see Zeka play Yone against other teams that weren't on the side of the standings.
Ooh-wee.
That'll be the Nexus going down. 13,000 gold lead as Hanwha Life Esports looking insanely strong. Big smiles across the board here.
Those two. Oh. Grizzly and Life playing incredibly well here. I'm a bit flustered. That was just a really
Bit flabbergasted.
clean game. Long gone are the days of Hanwha Life barely scraping by as Viper, you know, is trying to Zeri the best he can. What a development for this team.
I think that's really where the crux of it is. It's just how clean it was against, you know, a relatively strong team. We all know that T1's not at full power, but I mean, they like that was just so incredibly one-sided that it's just it's hard not to give them so much praise. As T1, you know, obviously things not feeling too good. It all started off with that early snowball kill on the Rift Heralds, and from there, we popped off in a big way. Kingen doing the most damage, a lot of that in the laning phase, as you can see by the lighter half of the bar.
Yeah, to me, Life and Grizzly, I don't know who ends up picking POG, but those two, for me, were the highlight of this game.
Zeka?
Yeah, Zeka.
Maybe
I think
like one or
Zeka's
two votes?
Could be as well.
The way he said some team fights, man, it's just, oh.
It's specifically...
The chef's kiss, man. His Yone is disgusting.
The combination between that, the fact that Life goes, and then Zeka just, it feels like he comes from like 15 screens away, and he still hits all of it. It's a beauty to watch. We'll see if T1 can come back, but that is a tough game #1 to lose, Valdez.
Yes, very one-sided. HomeLife Esports in the lead. We will take a break and come back with the space. We'll be right back.
What's up, Vince? Just chilling. Watching T1 lose. Oh no. Oh no.
가져. 가져. 아. 나 초지게 있다. 솔라리. 야, 바텀 갈 생각 해봐. 바텀 갈 생각. 아, 바텀 가자. 라인 지켜봐. 나 뽀삐까지 된다. 나이스, 바텀 가자.
바텀을 끝내보자.
잘했다.
교환했다?
교환하네.
나 날라갔는데 어떻게 이겼냐? 우리?
너 또 날아갔어?
저번에 또 날라갔어. 뽀삐공 또 날라갔어.
야,
잘했다, 그래도. 잘했다, 저번에.
잘했고.
나이스. 내가 태어날게.
천천히. 박자에 끝내자.
내일 10초?
나오면 W 박아줄게. 그냥 타워 쳐.
타워치야.
나이스.
I wanna feel a rush, tell them turn the pressure up. I'll be setting fires for the thrill, I can't get enough. Knocked down, never knocked out. When I'm in the clutch, leaving limits crushed. Gotta get it, ain't no giving up. Nah, got the whole world waiting on my fall. Me against the odds, bet it all. Better stack a tall, non-stop fighting.
Being chilling.
Breaking through my walls, yeah. Try to count me out, but I'm on the grind. Yeah, count down till I'm going live. Yeah, feel it like a fire on the inside. Roll from the ashes to survive. I'm coming alive.
Ano ba yan? Diego?
As far as I'm concerned, dog, I never have to check it. Me, myself, and I got bigger plans, you might have guessed it. This is my world.
Yan yung art ngayon sa ano, 2v2. Oh shit. Oh, so fat. Small face.
I'm coming alive. Controlling my fate. I'm coming alive. I'm coming alive. Just controlling my fate. I'm coming alive.
It's a 1v1. And Divine gets it. Unreal. All coming down to that 1v1 duel.
After the game ends, it's really break our heart.
But the pressure was too much for Gen G to come back on this redemption arc.
너무 아쉽고 화도 나고.
Zeta Division will not be playing in Tokyo.
スタート東京にはすごく出たかったんで、かなり落ち込むって言ったらあれですけど、メンタルにダメージが来たなっていうのは覚えてます。
We won't give up, we will emerge.
もう一度チャンスがある大会なのかなと思います。
저희 젠지는 다시 일어날 겁니다.
諦めないで勝ち上がります。
Team Secret, we're gonna win it all. Laban Pinas.
We're gonna win with the power of friendship.
The power of friendship. Ulul.
Global esports gonna win it all. G winning.
Robert Esports.
We're Talon Esports, and we're gonna win LCQ.
DFM が LCQ を優勝します。
Uy.
We won't give up.
JD. Guys, sa stream of JD. Ay, nag-live ko ulit. There are internet problems. 4 minutes ago. Oh no, internet's not working. People not live.
Welcome back to the space, everyone. As it was last time, I am still Atlas. This is Wolf and Orcs, or as I like to call them, Walks. And congratulations to Harmolife Esports for picking up the victory in game number 1. It was a pretty one-sided affair, and it all started off in the
taken out
draft.
of context.
You want to take us away?
Yeah, well, they had the Rumble pick, which they considered not grabbing, but they did ultimately decide on it into the Renekton, and it was an absolute domination that we saw from King in there on the top side. It's a pretty good matchup for the Rumble. And then we had the Yone pick here for Zeka once again, which has just been a fantastic pick for him. Likes to play it against weaker teams. We've discussed this a lot, but into the Azir matchup, it's definitely a matchup he feels very comfortable in and sets up the Rumble extremely well. So for me, that was kind of the key moment here in this draft, more than the Kai'Sa, more than the Viego that popped off.
Yeah, I will say I think Kai'Sa is ridiculously broken, and also with the style of compositions that really suited Harmolife Esports, it syncs so well. And I love that we're seeing this version of Harmolife Esports more than a lot of the time when they were playing the higher tier teams, they would default back to like these more defensive, more sort of scaling front to back compositions, and it was like, okay, this is not the Harmolife Esports we want to see. Whereas now, you know, putting Zeka on things like the Yone, which is obviously fantastic into his ear, but also like having the confidence to be the ones making plays. This is when this team looks best, when they're the ones starting the fights, initiating the skirmishes, and making things happen.
Yeah, it's like, it's just to add one point, it's like instead of just opting into, we have to have Viper 1v9, it's like Viper 1v9 is optional. Let's empower Viper instead.
Yeah, exactly right. And take a bit of pressure off him. It has been Viper Life Esports for quite some time. We do want to clarify something, though. Harmolife Esports were technically not completely qualified for playoffs before this series started, but they are now because they managed to win a game. So the graphic prior was just predicting the future, as we like to do here in the LCK. Just like to, sometimes the script gets leaked and you learn a little bit more a little bit earlier on. Let's jump into our first highlight, though, as this is where it all started to go wrong. And Wolf, We witnessed this together. You were like, they're not, and then
I was like, are they respecting the fact that there's a Yone Rumble engage here with no Renekton? Renekton's not nearby at all. Surely they'll respect it. They did not respect it.
Yeah, and I mean,
You got 2 firearms.
This game, like, I
Even
feel
though
like
I started the instructions wrong.
We're just going to see so many fantastic engages
Let's
from different
go.
members. Esports, obviously there before, it was Grizzly and Zeka, but
Instruction
here,
1.
Life coming in with a huge one, and it just feels like they were so on
the
point this entire
J-play.
game.
And the
Life basically
J-play.
just constantly flashing for his knockups. Like every time he had flash available, he went somewhere to make a play. Whether it was in the lane, where he traded flash with Guma early, then went mid, and then in every single team fight.
I'd love to have actually tracked like how often his flash was like actually off cooldown, 'cause I don't think it was very much.
Oh, that is high
J-play
value.
gone.
Keeping it on cooldown just
T1,
really allows you to
C2,
get the
G1.
maximum out of it. Otherwise, it could have a 7-minute cooldown. You never know. If you're not pressing that button, you're never getting the value. We'll talk about this until the cows come home. Let's jump into our second highlight and save us from me talking about cooldown reduction more often, as this was where it all really went wrong for T1.
This is ultimately the last fight of the game here, and Life looking for the engage onto Poby, breaks his crown, and then they don't really get anything huge out of this except punishing Karya's missed Magnet Storm. And then T1 are like, okay, we still have a Renekton here, we can actually still fight this. But at this point in time, Zeus doesn't even have boots. So the ability for this Renekton to get on top of anybody against this composition that has such great engage is just so limited. And when he goes on top of King in here, you could see, yeah, it is going to be the Rumble that's completely pushed away, but the re-engage is just so clean here from Hanwha Life.
Yeah, the target selection really good. That knock-up at the end was like fantastic. Obviously does go down. The manages to bring it through. And also, we've seen so often the Poppy knocking away the jungler,
C1,
just
C2.
completely neutralizing these objectives they're fighting over. Grizzly opting to back away, give space until the ult was down. And then another one here interrupts the Poppy ult for such a huge engage.
Zeus had so many fantastic moments against the Poppy because he can, of course, just simply deny the ultimate very easily, so he can actually put the threat on here, this time directly interrupting it with the equalizer layered on top. And Hanwha Life clearly practicing this Yone Rumble a lot.
C-plate done, get out of here.
Without something like a Sejuani and making it work and making it look really like unbeatable.
Yeah, and this is exactly what we witnessed throughout all of Challenger at the beginning of this week, was just back-to-back-to-back Yone Rumble games over and over again. This combination absolutely deadly, and Hanwha Life Esports absolutely fantastic at executing it. But it is time, gentlemen, to see who's going to pick up player of the game. Is it the G-Riz or is it somebody else? Let's have a look right now. And it is Grizzly that picks it up, 8-0-1, the legendary Viego.
Where did that not
this
go?
would have been my vote,
God
but
damn
I
it.
don't have one.
It did feel kind of like some of these early game engages were helped set up by him with Life and Zeka, but also kind of felt like a scoreline Steven vote for me. He did get a lot of kills. But I was actually feeling like Life, we did ultimately vote for Life, but also for me, Zeka, I put him higher than Grizzly in this one as well. But the three of them had a fantastic game, and Kingen also, he pressed R when he needed to.
Yeah, I feel like Kingen's job was press R on the top. For Grizzly and Viper, they were finish off the kills, and really it was Life and Zeka who were setting up these fantastic engages. So, you know, I think there are a lot of good performances across the board, but ultimately, I think, yeah, us going with Life made a bit more sense. And, you know, we had one other on our side.
The Jonas Strong synergy, that is powerful, though. That I think that that takes away from the KWs that are probably still in chat.
The Rumble vote, I guess, might just be for lane dominance. I mean, he did lane extremely well, but otherwise he did press R on top of CC.
Yeah, people got barbecued, and now we get to use our G-Riz as well,
That's
which
apparently
is
difficult, though. Pressing the R on top of CC. We've seen other Rumbles struggle quite a bit with that. So, you know, fair enough.
Absolutely, absolutely. But now it is time to get back to the casters and see whether the G-Riz can pick up another one in game number 2. Take it away.
Thank you, astronauts, for that wonderful breakdown. As yes, the G-Riz will pick it up. But yes, you are correct. If you do get solo vote with Jonas Strong, you're saved from all KEKWs. That's in your contract. You can check it out. But yeah, G-Riz, great stuff in the early game, and really was setting up a lot of those kills alongside of Life in some aspects, and did use his lead very well. But the issue is that everybody was stomping so hard, even Zeka, even Kingen.
A-plate done, get out of here.
Viper, like, press his R button when he had to.
We need to see.
It's hard to vote.
We need to also see a better draft from T1, because I think that Zeus to me was the one member that outside of Guma looked consistent. he got put on blind Renekton when you know Rumble has been barbecuing the Crocodile for like a week. So I really hope that we're going to see a different direction here for the T1 draft. The alternative is, of course, that they've tried other stuff and it just hasn't worked out. There is the Rumble
Just ban it.
So that probably means that we're going to be one. No, we're gonna get Kai'Sa, and it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. The Poppy is interesting because Poppy, I think, is still really, really good because of how lackluster owner looked on it. I wouldn't be surprised if...
Leave Kai'Sa up. Take your Tristana Renekton.
Ooh, I like that angle. I'm over the LeBlanc ban. I wonder if we'll keep seeing it. A lot of our other teams have already moved away from it, as it is the Kai'Sa. Very good. If there is a champion that will allow Guma to take the team on his back,
Seriously.
it's got to be this one.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely does look like the one player that performed at all, at least in game number 1. So
Yeah, I
Ano resist yung mata.
You know, makes sense.
Yeah, I do trust Zeus to a
Pero
certain
yung
extent,
stickers
but
flat,
not in
what
that
the
matchup.
shit.
And wasn't able to have
Hirap
an impact
nito.
at all. Hold up.
Well, at least Rumble's banned.
True, which actually does help a lot.
What about Tristana? Why do we not like Tristana here?
Like Vi Tristana?
No, like, they didn't pick it in game 1. They didn't ban it in game 1. Just people aren't playing Tristana on these two teams?
Huh,
Just don't feel like it?
Well, not being prioritized here. We have seen the Tristana be very good when it works, and I think Gen G is the team that probably uses it best out of everyone. And then we also saw some Tristanas not being able to hit the combos and whatnot, or the buffers rather, and then it becomes kind of awkward pretty quickly as we are going back to 2021 Gen G.
I guess so. It's not the Jinx, but...
No, it's Saya instead, but it, you know, good enough for me.
Yeah.
Now all we need is a Grizzly to pick up Volibear. And there's a that crosses a lot of boxes.
Then the universe just, you know, we reach the singularity and we kind of, you know, just...
Can't have that happen. There's no way. I do think
it's too early for that.
I do think T1 need to ban T1 need to ban Viego because I don't think that Viego Azir is necessarily that strong. But Grizzly looks like a completely different player, and there it is. The Viego ban does come through because this Ahri and Vi combo is wholly reliant on winning the mid-jungle 2v2. Poppy would be my other ban that I think is a really, really good investment here because it takes away, again, so much offensive pressure that you would otherwise have. The downside is if you ban that, it's going to be another Rakan for life. And he is pretty good at Rakan.
Yeah. It's definitely setting up for it.
Oh, yeah.
They're like,
it's
hey,
happening.
We're going to pick Rakan. You know what? Just ban away Poppy.
No, but I think the Poppy ban is a necessity with the draft. I know you get Zyra Khan, like Homa Life, are doing really well here. But if Grizzly gets to play Poppy with Azir into Vi Ahri, I think your game is basically over before it's began. And instead, it's the Lovers duo being given over here to Viper and Life. I think very justifiably picking up POG points was my other consideration as well in the previous game.
The Rumble, not so much, but, you know, he did do boom damage, fire damage. It's really cool.
He won his lane, which is, you know, that's what's supposed to happen. That's okay. As wait a minute. Okay, I'm like, are we gonna go really crazy? We are!
We are.
Oh, we're going full dive. I like it. Send it. You're playing full dive into Zaya and Azir, so I don't envy your position, but...
Yeah. No Maokai, no Poppy, no Viego, no Sejuani. What are we playing for Grizzly to really round out this comp? That's not what I thought.
No, I was hoping. I was trying to wield the Volibear into existence just because it's funny.
White
But, yeah. but Wukong has not been very good. I do think that it is also partially due to the LCK not being able to get the most out of the pick. I know in LPL the pick is not necessarily the highest of priority, but is still successful. And it's specifically in situations like this where you have the Rakan as well, because that combo is still very strong. You can allow the Wukong to go in, and the Rakan can follow up and guarantee that you layer some CC. Now, the one saving grace for T1, even though they're playing full dive, like as divey as it gets, even adding a Galio to try and have even more backline threat, and also have some counterplay to Rakan, try to hit the taunt when he comes in, is Because you got Kaisa, so you don't actually need to go in. Just get Guma to free items, have him press W, and anything can happen. But you got to get to free items, and after game number 1, I'd be a little worried if I was a T1 fan, because that game was not close, Valdez.
Okay, that's the entire sticker sheet. Done.
Well, it's an orange.
Yeah.
You look, the stickers are going.
It's not technically Orange Day, but Humble Life Esports are playing. So the orange is out represented. As were the tomatoes, apparently, for T1, which is kind of interesting. Here is Karia's Galio that we zoom in on. Very interesting stuff. You never see that in this day and age, but will be interesting to watch as Grizzly on the Wukong. Another interesting one. Can be very good on the counter engage. Let's see how Grizzly pilots it and if he can actually bring success to this pick. But guys, we are ready to hop onto the river for game number 2. Let's do it. Alrighty.
Alrighty then.
Match 66, game 2.
Game 2. Are we going to get a game 3?
No.
No,
No, I don't think so. Not after game 1.
Can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm learning to trust Humble Life.
They're reformed.
They're a new team. They're not the same. They're not the Humble Life we knew.
Literally and figuratively in their play. They do look like a totally new team. And it also breeds confidence. You know, we saw earlier on that OK Savings Bank Breon was able to nearly perfect game DK in game 1. That's a different feeling from this first game. I feel like Humble Life Esports have they deserve our trust, I would say.
Yeah.
After the last bunch of series that they have played, they've looked much better. And, you know, if they can keep this up, who knows how far they can get.
And it also comes with them looking good against some of the stronger teams. I think the KT series, to me in particular, is one where I'm like, hey, the fact that Humble looked good there is really impressive. KT have been extremely strong. They did lose a game to Breon.
It's the Zeka
just, you know, last week.
Yeah,
so
we do some happy gaming.
There is some... You know, that's just the Breon guarantee, really. That's what we're learning.
Yeah.
They will definitely win game 1 in a lot of series. And then yeah, we don't talk about what happens after.
Then they take an arrow to the knee and things change.
It's an old meme, but, you know, it checks out.
Yeah, for some reason I'm all about the old memes today.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to bring back the golden oldies.
Classics.
Yeah.
As Grizzly, I don't think he got spotted. Owner might be looking for the 1v1 here. Wukong notoriously weak. Gonna run into each other here.
Ooh, the timing, very unfortunate for Owner. He's getting pretty aggressive, but he is going to be spotted. He still can potentially put on the pressure because very nicely done by Jonas Strong. The bottom lane is totally pushing it. So this is probably just going to be a one-on-one.
Fight.
As Owner will spot him on the ward. Pulls it just out. Oh, it goes the way of Grizzly! As he'll pick it up. Looks like it went down to 18 health-ish.
Yeah, so what Owner was trying to do there was actually quite good. It was the trying to go for the third hit on W.
All right, now this is just we're going off.
I mean,
this is not it.
So okay, so we're gonna break that down. He was trying to go for the maximum burst, which is third hit of W of denting blows. As hold up, Life might be in trouble.
Yeah, this is also not it. But he is Rakan at least, and he will save himself barely. Thankfully, next to the Zaya this time.
So, 4 times the charm. Denting blows plus Q. Maximum damage. I think he was just in time before the buff went back, because that's when they initially start slowly regaining health. That might have actually been the difference maker. Zeus is proxying tier 2, which he's applying pressure, you know? And I think he needs it because, as I was saying, Owner doesn't get the smite fight. And then, additionally, Poby was bullied so hard in the early levels that he had to take it already. So should be fine, is a Jax. So not too worried for him here.
Grizzly just going to ignore it.
Yeah, does know that the ward is there. But.
Yeah. And King, I mean, he's just just hanging out. Kingen, by the way, 8-0 on Renekton. Renekton definitely, it just feels like a pick.
Just ban Rumble.
As long as Rumble's not in, we did find an answer to the Renekton. But yeah, if Rumble's not in, generally you're feeling really good on this Renekton.
And they are trekking Grizzly, but unfortunately here they haven't actually been able to slow him down. Right? He got his buff, he got a scuttle. So Grizzly's just looking to get to 6 as soon as possible, so he can start impacting the fights with his ultimate. Really going to be when you're looking to get a lot more active. And I think Zeus playing like an absolute maniac is actually the way to go here, because you need something, right? And you might get solo killed, you might get ganked, but I think it's the same reason why we see Keria and Guma play really far up. If you try and play evenly against this team, I don't think you're winning. And Jax is one of the picks that has the opportunity to really apply a lot of pressure. This will be pushing back into Zeus. He's down to teleport. So unfortunately for him, Kingen is going to have the opportunity to shove this wave in, but is backing on a cannon wave and has leap strike, so shouldn't be the end of the world here as he gets his back in.
Kingen was going for a very passive kind of a play. You know, he was taking a big trade, but he didn't want to overstay his welcome.
Yeah.
Especially because I guess that Jax would have gotten his back in based on the fact that he didn't have teleport. So I wasn't sure 100% where the jungler was. By the way, we do have Owner down on the bottom side of the map here. Keria is going to flash away as Grizzly is also here, so they can't actually get aggressive onto this. Owner, keep in mind, also still does not have his flash. And now 2 T1 members on the bottom side of the map do not.
Yeah, Owner's level down. Also, his back a lot weaker. Owner sitting on the Kindle Jam. Grizzly on a Core Fields. Main issue there that I think they were looking for a bot side play, but then they spotted Grizzly just as they were setting it up. So Owner had to back off. Keria had to flash as opposed to just tanking it and then going in for the counter engage. And Humble Life applying the pressure very nicely. And now we have Grizzly actually ahead as we go.
Oh no, Poby. He does have the Spirit Rush though, as Owner's going to get his Q blocked, but Grizzly in a little bit of a rough spot as he will get in there. Poby now trying to continue, but will not be able to. As meanwhile, in the top side, Zeus going to go back in with the counter-strike. Kingen just going to dash away.
Kingen his flash.
Oh, he was looking for it, but the pings onto the Vi in the river will push him back.
And we are playing a dangerous game here. Both these two teams going in really hard. See if doesn't know that the Renekton is there, but Zeus doesn't look like he should be using his skills, so should be fine as long as he has counter-strike. Doesn't have to be too worried. Spots Kingen now, takes the Q.
Yeah, Kingen doesn't want any of this. He's just, get me out of here. As now the stun's gonna come down though.
What?
I guess he thought he had his Q available, did not, runs back in, dies to the Jax. As Grizzly is just doing the Krugs. His first blood over to T1's top laner.
Oh, T1 fans, that's a sigh of relief right there, because you'll have some pressure at least in this matchup. Zeus definitely playing like a maniac, because that is a game-breaking moment. If he loses there and your Jax falls behind against the Renekton early, really tough spot as Viper goes for an aggressive ultimate, and nothing happens. So it's you know, it's fine. But now you have a winning Jax inside lane, so that's something you can play off of. See if T1 is able to use it, particularly with Kai'Sa and Galio. I think that having a side laner that's winning is so valuable, because as soon as you get even a little bit of map control, the moment that Zeus is inside, like 2 people can just join him at a moment's notice. As the point
1. He has it.
He has it.
He has it. Doesn't press the Q.
Wonder what
I mean,
could have been a kill.
Gotta press the button.
Yeah, flash as well.
I don't know what else to say. You gotta press the button. Yeah, pretty close. So maybe you wanted to press something else. I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah.
But didn't end up working out. Poby having a tough time here in the mid lane, and this is going to remain a consistent issue for T1, unfortunately. As we have seen, not playing without mid prio is definitely a tough call, as Owner is going to start this up. Might just have a trade of objectives here. Keria was moving towards the mid lane to maybe aid, but doesn't look like he actually wants to fully commit to one side or the other. Again, has his ultimate available, so diving Guma, not really an opportunity.
Just wandering on over. Fireman.EXE trying to take down this Drake, but Owner already got this Rift Herald. As meanwhile, Keria, no flash, rough spot, but he is the Galio. Does avoid the root importantly.
Wow, the
if he does
yellow
not avoid the root,
flames,
I would
God.
guess he would be dead.
Yeah, he doesn't have flash, so Aftershock would time out and he would probably go down, especially with Life and Viper having sums available. Oh, Keria,
they
nice.
try for it as now the charm is coming in, but Life is so low as the R button is pressed and Guma collects a free kill. As now Viper trying to get in there, wants to take the 1v2, does get the double root as the Q comes out. One more auto gets it done, and now Viper going 1v1 against Keria has Grizzly coming in at the perfect time as Viper and Grizzly outplay the bottom lane.
Okay, my answer is Viper. I've decided. I've decided. Remember that question?
Yeah.
That you asked earlier? Yeah.
Game 1, yeah.
Yeah,
I remember.
Yeah. Best AD carry. Yeah, no, I'm feeling good. So Zeus,
He doesn't have flash.
he's dead. Yeah, he's definitely dead.
He has accepted his fate.
He has accepted his fate.
Question is, can they give the kill to Grizzly?
How much time
Doesn't look like
can
it.
he waste? No, it's just going to be a recon kill. Oh, maybe, yeah.
Oh.
No, Grizzly got it with the smite.
Grizzly G-Riz steals it away.
And unfortunately for Zeus, who again is playing like a maniac, just proxying tier 2 just to try and have as much pressure as possible, there is no objective on the cross map. Dragon was already taken. And I want to take another look at this. This is actually exceptional. Like, sets it up, right? Puts down all these feathers. And then,
I can do this.
E-flash.
I think I won.
1대2도 이겼고. 야, 카이사 오픈.
Kai'Sa flash.
Has his cleanse as well. So
Yeah.
like he knew that even with the taunts, Keria wouldn't be able to like get in the final damage to kill him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty good at this game. I have the suspicion that he's put in a lot of practice.
Some might even say he could be good enough to win a world championship. As Owner behind them.
Oh, Owner, very nice angle, but again, this is Xayah as, the stun, the taunt onto Life is nearly enough, but the damage not quite there for the T1 bottom lane.
That's Xayah Rakan right there. So much innate safety. They do get a lot out of this.
Yeah.
But is it actually going to make a meaningful difference? We'll see.
That's why in the draft they had Renekton Azir, and they could have picked Viego or anything else that was strong, even the Poppy. Instead, they chose Xayah once they saw Vi and Ahri and Kai'Sa on the other side. They're like, no, we need this.
You do.
Sometimes you press R button and avoid it all.
Fortunately for Owner and Poby and Zeus, as soon as Guma gets free items, then, it's fine.
Yeah.
I really don't like the fact that this is a that this is a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Guma does have a sense of impending doom. I don't know why I'm talking about boats, but he will be fine as in they go.
He's getting steamboated, man. I don't know. Grizzly,
yep.
I think he's in a lot of trouble here. He's going to have to flash, yeah.
Fireman.
Absolutely saw the angle. Pretty straightforward one. Grizzly was on vision the whole way, and then he went ahead and face-checked the Tri-Brush. Maybe a little bit of, okay, we got a fight in the bottom side here as Life. Just going to back away.
Go down.
But they really want to deny this.
He's
Taunt, not going to hit anything as now in we go the Cyclone onto Owner, and the rest of the team is just leaving him. They say, no, we cannot win. Life is looking for a bit more, but he's only going to get a bit more damage on the Keria here. As now we get a W into Viper, and the charge did come down.
And again, I don't think Owner is playing super well, but this is another example, like, the fact they can't commit there because Zeka is roaming. Zeka won the 1v1 against Poby, so he's already halfway through the river. So there is no opportunity. Owner should have probably flashed the moment that he saw the re-engage come through. And it's these type of responses that show such a marked difference with how T1 normally plays, because Faker is so reliable in being able to either make sure that the team doesn't go in, right, the moment that a play like this is happening and he doesn't have mid lane prio, or winning the skirmish and then being the first one to rotate over. And instead, it's Grizzly getting even more fed here. Although, I gotta say, in this one, does feel like he's just walking in, smiting people. picking up kills left and right, but it's the setup of the rest of the team that really is impressing me here. Hanwha Life.
It's just Wide Boris passing through.
Sure. He's just getting
what
his...
you gotta know. I mean, Wide Boris, he's on the path
He's
to
earned.
victory.
He's earned his snackies, okay? He's hungry.
I mean, clearly.
He was hibernating.
Clearly, Wide Boris, he's already earned his snackies before coming into this one. And
hey, he still has 5 treats left on his jungle item. Hey, he needs more.
I'm just saying there can be more to come.
No, I agree.
That's good.
I do agree, Velvet.
Things are looking up for Wide Boris. And for Grizzly, who is taking the LCK by storm. Zeka does have Crown, and he has a lot of teammates very close by. So, owner, please be careful and don't go in there 1v4 alone. And he will back away. So this time to not get caught out.
See if T1 this time around can respect. Team fighting potential is here. They are going to commit. This is even when it comes to gold. All comes down to execution. Guma is pretty weak though. Only has a blasting one and a shiv.
All right, they're trying to get on top of Grizzly here. That is the wombo combo. And Grizzly gets his cyclone off though, and they can't kill him. They can't take down the Grizzly, as they might be able to take out Life though. The turn comes in. The W is there from Guma. It's a bit of a turnaround, but now look at this. The 1v1 Zeka gonna scoop up the Ahri as the flash comes in. Viper will set it up, and he's probably dead, but Zeus now, can he get out alive is really the question. Hops away. And he's got Carrier nearby as Hanwha Life Esports looking to get in there once again. Zeka still full health, so is Kingin. And even though Zeus with the red buff, he's just gonna have to run away. And this should be objective and kind of a wild fight both ways. This one going the way of Hanwha Life Esports.
And you see the desperation for T1 there. They go in with everything, but you're engaging on a Wukong into a choke point. While a Xayah is standing right there.
Yeah.
And Viper says, thank you very much.
You know why they picked Wukong?
The actual, which is, like, this is the irony of this T1. The execution on this play is clean. Like, when you look at, you got the flash charm from Poby, you got the knockup, but the target selection is all off. This is Grizzly in a choke point. And ironically, it ends up being not too bad for T1 because of all the exit kills that they get. Right, because Viper goes forward, does end up killing Guma, but also immediately gives over a kill to Zeus, and then between that and Life dying to a fadeaway W, it's a 3-for-2 trade. Dragon goes to Hanwha.
Yeah.
At the very least, T1, unlike in game number 1, is keeping up a little bit, but it's not looking pretty. Team fighting from Hanwha Life look miles ahead of what T1 is able to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, Hanwha Life Esports are a unit. It does seem like they are.
Have you seen those guys?
T1, yeah, well, that's a whole other story. But yeah, no, like they're playing as a team, right? And it's very clear that they're kind of they have very far surpassed T1 in terms of that level of play in their current form. So that's really good to see. As Life's been kind of like off the handle as well. He's like, you didn't give me POG in game 1. You gave it to the new guy.
How dare you?
I'm playing Rakan again. They gave me Rakan again after game 1. I'm gonna take POG. Thank you very much. As okay, well they have Galio again. Where is he?
GB coming in.
It's not there. Okay, well. Viper now getting engaged upon, does have his R button, but just cleanse instead and waits for it. Now Zeus gonna get scooped up into the turret. It's just a free kill for Grizzly, who is so good at last hitting, man. I don't know how he does this. 5-0 on the Wukong, who is pretty good at last hitting. Guma is alone in mid.
Well, not for long.
Yeah.
King's coming to say hello. Oh, they just...
He did say, yeah, he said hello, and then he said, well, I'm pretty busy. I'm a pretty busy croc. You know, I got to get on my way.
I got places to go. I got stuff to do.
You know how it is nowadays.
So trying to engage her, again, the idea makes a little bit of sense. You're trying to force a 2v3 here with the teleport, and you also have the Galio ult, but you're engaging again on Grizzly, who can or can get very far away. And then here Zeus thinks that he is able to get the counter-strike before Viper can respond, but this is Viper. And more importantly, there's also a Nazir with an ultimate, which would have, you know, kind of become a problem nonetheless.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
I think that T1 very clearly is kind of floundering and doesn't really know what to do, so we're just pressing our buttons. And against a lot of teams, I think that would be okay. Against Hanwha, though, they're going to make you look pretty silly.
On Pacific
because,
Rim.
like, we've seen, what, 3 engages on Grizzly? He's still deathless.
No, I mean, again, like, he had a choice. There were so many junglers that were banned away, like Poppy, Diego, Sejuani, Maokai, that could have been great into this. And they were all banned away, so he's like, what am I going to do? He goes for the Wukong that hasn't had a very high win rate, but if you engage... By the way, this isn't going to get any value.
No.
I mean, it's second Rift Herald, but
tier
1 would have been pretty nice.
Big.
But, yeah, I mean, you pick a pick that's like, if you engage on me, I press R and then your engage is kind of stopped, right? And it can build into a lot of health.
It's the disengage Wukong. I mean, so let's look.
And it has amazing counter engage as well.
Let's look. So, well, again, there is an end point to this. This is Crown.
He has Crown.
Here. Yeah, it's not happening. So, oh no, please don't. Okay. So as I was trying to highlight, think you are T1, okay? You're playing Vi, Ahri, and Galio, and you have Kai'Sa. You want to go in. Who do you actually engage on here? Your options are Renekton, which no, bad. Don't force.
No.
He has stopwatch. He has dominance. He's Core Drinker.
Very scary.
No, bad Croc. The Fed Wukong. No, also no. Well, he's a good Croc, but to you, he's a bad Croc. You know, it's all about perspective. Doesn't work. Zeka has Crown, has had his flash for basically the entire game, and has his ultimate, and also E. So very hard to engage on. Viper, self-explanatory, and then Rakan.
With
just not a lot of good options. And the one saving grace on this is just that you have Kai'Sa. And eventually, I really hope Guma just goes full poke and actually builds Ludens or Ryla or
definitely
Leandres.
Should. Like, I think this is one of these ones where
100%, yeah.
He might just go Vince's because he's like, well, this is what our comp does. We're all going all in. I'm going to be in melee range. I need to be autoing.
No.
But I think in this case, in this game state, Ingen just going to get 100-0'd as even through dominance, he's just taken out.
Okay.
As Grizzly's watching.
That's a good start.
Saw a gape over the wall. He's like, oh, God, you died really fast. As still, I mean, it is Jackson by. They will crash through that as now they get the pick on the Zeka. Down he will go. And that's a couple of picks here to the side of T1 as now they should be able to collect this dragon.
A little bit of a resurgence here from T1, showcasing what their comp is supposed to do. And when it works, it looks really good. I also really, you know, I think my caster curse, I just
it was beautiful.
I just want to call it out. The fact that Kingen dies with Dominus Flash and stopwatch up.
You're like, impossible to engage another Croc.
You can't kill anyone.
Don't hit the Croc, especially.
Impossible.
And then...
started to 0 in. Kingen getting a little bit overconfident here. And then that pick, that's still something that I think you can come back from with how far ahead you are. But then Zeka, Keria actually with a really good corrective play. We've not seen a lot of this Keria over the last couple of weeks, but is able to go in, procs the crown early on, and has the setup with the taunt after he lands the knock-up. And T1, that was very necessary. They're still behind. Still think the position that Hanwha have in this game is good. Guma's building, unfortunately, Ginsu's. But there's a chance. There's a chance at a 6-game day here, Valdez. I'll take it.
Absolutely is. I mean, I'd be really interested just for research purposes, just to watch a game 3, because I am very curious if T1 actually are able to pull this across the line. I mean, that would definitely break my expectations.
Really big,
especially after game 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, Zeus starting to win the side lane. This is eventually going to happen, but especially after you get the pick on to Kingen, will bring up some even more confidence. And with the Black Cleavers, he's able to chew through that Croc very quickly.
It's important for T1 to remember. You just because you can press your buttons doesn't mean you need to press your buttons. As now Zeus will be doing better and better in the side lane. It's only going to get better for him from here. I assume he's going to go Zhonya's next. Also to be able to go even more aggressive in his bot lane dive, or in his backline dive rather. And we're starting to see item finishes across the board. This dragon as well is actually really big, because if Hanwha Life can pick up Soul, that to me spells the end of the T1 comp. Because like, Ahri will not do any damage. And also, your win condition, I think, in late game is Viper.
Yeah, Viper on a ward. Oh! 100-0. He did not see that one coming. And now, with TP coming in, they're going to start up the Baron.
There's no Viper there.
Ooh, a lot of from the Azir. I think Hammerlight Esports will try to take this 4v5 as now this... Oh, he's able to get over the wall. The taunt not there on time. The crown is now gone.
I think they need to fight.
And here's Zeus looking for that backline, but the counter-strike is not going to hit, and he immediately gets blown up. The counter-engage is huge, but the damage is not there for the side of Hammerlight Esports. Zeus does go down, but it's in a trade as Povey desperately trying to run away from this gigantic crocodile. As Guma, you see also on the run. The charm is going to actually be pretty big, but I don't know if Guma can get out of here as the W is going in.
No.
There's the passive. The cleanse comes in. The damage is not there. The Azir will take him down. Hammerlight Esports win the fight 4v5.
They turn it around. The flash is away from Zeus' Counter-Strike plus the amount of CC that Grizzly was able to do turns out to be enough, and they don't even need Viper. What is this team?
Donate the Zaya.
Who are these players?
Where's Pilshik?
What is happening?
Man, they are really, really good. So break this down for us, Chronicler.
This was awesome, okay? 100%, like the Panic Cleanse amidst Vial doesn't do anything. And then, so T1 know that they need to do the Baron here. They don't really have an opportunity to go slow, but the taunt timing doesn't work out, so Kingen gets out. And then I want you to pay attention to the amount of CC that's about to come on top. This flash from Zeka ends up being possibly game-winning. And then look here, the damage, Grizzly getting the double knock-up, then the stopwatch, and it buys time for Kingen. They deal with Zeus in the backline, and then the Crocodile comes up huge. In these type of scenarios where there just isn't enough upfront damage to burst him down, Renekton gets so much value.
Yeah.
And
once again, Kingen is kind of the hero in this team fight on the Renekton, as it has been so many times in the past. I don't know what's going on here. It looks like he is okay.
Baron now here for Hanwha, and that should also lead to a soul point there. And as I was saying, if you lose the ability to blow up single target members and the Mountain Soul Shield is going to absorb Guma's poke, that's just checkmate. Like, that's the worst case scenario, and I don't think T1 is really going to be in a position to contest here. We'll see if they can find a miracle engage, but it's not looking too hot right now, Valdez.
It definitely is not. I mean, this is the way that T1's comp works. As we have said, you have to press your buttons onto someone. They will get the Feather Storm out of Viper, as this time he says, no thank you. Yeah,
that ends up working out. And the Soul Point's going to get given over. And again, Soul Point you can recover from. This does take away a little bit of pressure from the Baron power play. Means that the gold lead isn't going to grow as much as it otherwise could. But Hanwha, they're also perfectly happy here, right? They set themselves up for a very easy Soul. They even have plenty of opportunities to trade cross-map, get inhibs, as once Kingen and Grizzly get GA, that's like as good as it gets. If you can somehow make it past that ST1, I think there's opportunities for you to maybe find an angle again with this Kai'Sa, but I just don't know how you're going to. It is going to be so tough to play out the fights when both Grizzly and Kingen can go in for reckless abandon.
Yeah, there's...
that was the window, that pick.
Not really much of an angle. Yeah, I mean, Hammerlight Esports, they gave a couple of opportunities, right? They're like, hey, here's a free Zaya. Here is a couple of picks in our own jungle. Here's a dragon. And just wasn't enough. Hammerlight Esports still very much in control of this game. And now just going to push as a four-man unit into the bottom lane here. They picked up that Mountain Dragon, of course, and the Baron power play, it's not going to scale out of control as Zeka's going to walk through the winds and lose his crown. Not ideal, not what you want to be doing. And that's okay. We'll get it up here before they fight next time.
No, just imagining like the Emperor of Shurima walking, you know, like very majestically down the, I don't know, the Shurima capital. And then like this
the red carpet.
Yeah, wind blows by. Grizzly.
What's going on here, buddy?
Oh, he's dead.
Oh my God, he is so dead. Well,
so
they're gonna feed Guma another kill.
That's what the comp does. Thank you, T1. So, but anyway, imagine you're the Shurima Emperor, you're walking across the city of your capital, and then just a gust of wind comes by and knocks off your crown. And you're like, what is this? I shouldn't have to deal with this. Unbelievable.
Well, at least it recharges the crown.
Yeah,
it's a magical crown.
Hey, pick it up, you know, dust it off, put it back on. Can Guma carry this? Eventually.
I mean, we're getting to that point in the game,
close,
right? Like,
And what I
definitely getting close.
What is so frustrating to me about this game is that you see glimpses of T1 like that. This is a peak example of what this comp is supposed to do. Grizzly just way too far out, doesn't have any pressure here. Feels safe because there's a decent amount of vision, but if anyone CCs you, 2 people will be on top of you at the very least at this point in the game, showing his inexperience there, getting taken out. Do see Humble Life setting up a trap that T1 doesn't end up falling for, but the fact that you can see the glimpses, but then it doesn't actually come together. I hate it when a plan doesn't come together.
Yeah. Everybody hates that.
Yeah. That.
Yeah. No, Kai'Sa's gonna Kaisa, and she's getting close to actually Kaisa'ing, which is actually 4th and 5th item.
Okay, going Void Staff. Love that. Very good. Smart choice.
Void Staff into Death Cap.
Yep.
I don't think you should go Zonya's. Just do more damage.
Yeah, just kill them. If you're Zonya Singh, you're probably... Things are probably not good.
Yeah.
Life will not be okay.
We need you to not be in stasis.
No, you need to...
Otherwise, the team loses.
You need to crank those numbers, man.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen like 1,600 DPM Kaisas.
Yeah.
Generally in longer games. So Humble Life Esports definitely have a bit of an onus on them to speed this one up.
Yeah.
We definitely don't want to give Kaisa number 4 or number 5.
Again, my question is, do they get double GA when we... Oh, that's one. Thank you. When we get to this Soul fight. And again, they might not even have to fight for Soul. They can also just say, T1, you take this one dragon that we don't care about, and we will get Baron. And then we will siege you, we will take down your turrets, and then you don't have the gold to fight us at all, or the map control. We'll see what decision they end up making.
Certainly considering pressing some buttons, but T1 do not have vision in this river at all.
I think the problem with this as well is that you're trying to get sidelining pressure going for Zeus with your globals, but you can't actually because you don't have any map control.
All right, there we go. There's the flash. They try to get in onto Zeka. The crown is down, but he's got stopwatch, and the follow-up engage comes in. As have they gone too deep, though? The Galio up top, but Guma's getting solo, but he has the shield, and they are desperate to take him out, but they cannot, as Guma's just on the run, but unfortunately, the rest of them are also getting routed. Grizzly chasing him down, the 2 super low health members, gonna get a stopwatch here. Guma not quite able to trade one back. Humble Life Esports going to get this fight in a big way as Guma, he's like, do I stay for the W's or do I just go home? He's got to go home, I guess.
Gotta go home. Yeah, but that's going to be the Nash. So close. Guma, he's trying so hard, man. But it just isn't enough. Humble Life get the better end of them. Not even proccing the GA on King, and that's going to be Baron.
Yeah.
And surely that should also be the Dragon. I don't think they have the time here. Although Zeka is dead, they might actually be able to get the Dragon here, which I think is a perfectly fine trade here from where you take it any time. Because yeah, as you point out, Zeka's still dead. Even if he TPs in now, would be too late. So
Life just bought an Abyssal Mask. That's what I was pointing at.
Oh,
actually.
I thought you were pointing at the Zeka
Very
Death Timer.
interesting.
I
mean,
actually, no, well, it's also, it will allow him to tank the W's more consistently. Between that and Gleaming Quill, as we do have the picture-in-picture. But again, look at how close Guma gets to dying, is able to actually get the Zonyas off, that uses the E, plus the shields.
I love League of Stopwatch.
Yeah, plus the ults from Galio to stay alive, and then gets the reposition. While all this is happening, like, Zeus eventually dies, Poby barely gets out. Obviously, Grizzly chases off 2 people. Mid lane inhibitor has fallen. Zeus is on the flank angle, but is in fact spotted here on the Jax.
Yeah. Let's see how this one goes. Zeus still hanging out back there.
It's so hard to engage onto this comp when they're grouped up.
Well, they're going to try. King and I think he smells something is up here.
Oh, Zeus is on the angle. They should not have vision of him right now.
I mean, you need to get someone. Grizzly, no more warrior. Trickster, this could be the angle.
There he
here
is.
Comes the Jax. The Featherstorm is down, but in he goes. Viper goes into the stopwatch. Perfect timing as down goes the Jax. As he's not able to do the damage. Owner trying to get in onto Viper and finally takes him out, but it is not enough. Guma, though, is still alive with full health, and the W's are raining down as maybe one more W, but he missed that one, so the cooldown is not going to get quite reset, and Humble Life Esports will reset themselves as, man, Guma he can't do it alone. Humble Life Esports too far ahead.
Doesn't have enough. Grizzly able to dodge that one. Second inhib is going to fall here, surely as well. Guma does have his ultimate available again. And you gotta imagine that they're gonna look for something. Home Alive trying to end the game here.
Yeah, Owner tries to go in, tries to create some space. In goes the Kaisa, hits the W. Grizzlies clone goes down. And they're clearing the wave, so... Okay, that's a hit W. Guma gonna try once again, but yeah, you can't stick around here as Home Alive Esports. And we continue.
It's Grizzly making sure that he doesn't actually end up getting taken down with his clone. No Kaisa W's for you there, Guma, as this is as good as it gets here for T1, and I think this is a relatively favorable fight. Owner forces the early ultimate from Viper, who with his stopwatch actually stays alive for really long, and then with the charm follow-up, they're able to actually take him out in the end. But because Home Alive is already so far ahead, they deal with the rest of the front line, so there's no one that allows Guma to walk up. Might have been able to do more there if he had another body in front of him. Not going to be the case for now. They got one GA. Kingens is down. Grizzly still not the case here.
Yeah, and T1 also got the red buff, but it's really not. I don't think that's going to really carry them over the line, especially because that's on Owner.
Zeus inside. I don't know if they have the wave clear here, although
he does
with
have
Shift,
TP.
Yeah, with Shift they might be fine. Void stuff done now for Guma. Can they actually hold on the turret here? Guma needs to get an auto in.
Over the wall. He's just challenging Owner.
TP!
Getting him away. Here's the TP. As once again we go into the thick of things as life is getting extremely low. And look at Grizzly on the top side, not quite getting it done as the Jax here. And a huge sweep comes in, but here's Guma trying to take him down. Takes out Viper. But now he's got to do it all alone. Goes invisible. In goes King, and the W hits. Down goes the Viper, or rather the Guma. The Kaisa, he is taken out, and Karya is on the run, and he will be taken out at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, once again, it is a quadra kill. It is League of Bruisers here as Home Alive Esports should be able to win this game.
And it looks closer than game number one, but in the end, Hanwha Life are going to get it done here. Owner goes in, desperately trying to get anything going. He procs a GA, but not going to be enough.
He does some good damage. Home Alive should hit the Nexus, and that they do as we get the Monka Talia, and that is going to do it. Home Alive Esports take it down 2-0 with more hugs to go around.
And it was these two. This game, that combination of Grizzly and Kingen in the team fights, where the previous game was just domination, start to finish. This time around, T1 fought so valiantly, but Home Alive just outdid them on every turn.
I see you staring at your POG
yeah,
paper.
It's tough.
Who do we give it to in this one?
I went Croc, but Crocodile Bear.
I like it.
Like, I'm fine with either.
Oh, I like the
go
King
Viper.
Vote. I like the King and Vote. And
production agrees, so I'm feeling good about this one.
No, his team fighting was insane, and he reached kind of critical mass where it was like the world was falling apart around him, but he just was still standing at the end of every fight. And even through GA, through Dominus, through everything, they could not take him down because all of their focus was into Zeka and Viper on the Azir and Xayah, that by the time that the team fight got late and they were around for 20-30 seconds, then King is he's just cleaning up.
Guma also very relatable for everyone that has ever been in that position in solo queue where you're like, no guys, we can win this, come on, and he got so close, but in the end, wasn't enough. The absence of Faker being very, very sorely felt here for T1, and too much for Poby to shoulder. I mean, there's a reason why Faker is still there. It's too much.
Game.
It's too much. Well, it's tough, right? Because I don't think you can hold it against Poby at all, but you just notice the lack of what usually is there for T1. And
the unit's not really a unit right now on the side of T1, whereas on the side of Home Alive Esports, many units to go around, and including their team fighting, which has been great.
And there were some great moments in this one, right from the get-go. For either team, really. Like, it was messy, but this was a really fun game. It was very enjoyable. Viper at this moment, think about how many, like, Pog or Mad Movie moments we had in this one game. This is one from Viper here. And here we see T1 forcing, but it not really working out. Them getting so far behind, and you gotta imagine, like, what if they had been a little bit more careful in this early game? What if Guma could have gotten to this state that he got to eventually, while not being as far behind? But it's not what happened. Not the actual result here. All these messy skirmishes. And then this was the moment where I thought T1 was going to bring us to a game number 3.
Yeah, this was crazy. Really, really nice flash from Zeka. And once again, watch, like, all the damage will go into Grizzly. They immediately dogpile him after this one, but King is just left standing. He's like, oh, cool. Oh, everybody's, okay, I guess I'll just walk right in. And takes down 2 kills. I think Zeka actually got both of them. But King is set up for them, and there he is on the left side, gets the stun on Guma. And over, there were just so many threats on Humble Life Esports that, yeah, you can kill Viper, you can kill Zeka, but you can't kill the Crop.
It's also one of the first good Wukongs we've seen in a really long time, because this champion has not been successful in the LCK for a...
Some Challenger League issues we saw, some small mistakes from King Grizzly, but overall, his highs are really insane.
Which is why I went for Kingen, right? Because Grizzly had the one pick where he got caught early on, but I gotta say, I thought here that they were going to turn it, right? That Guma was going to be able to do it, but does actually gets knocked up and has to use his stopwatch very early on. And even with the flash cleanse, Kingen already gets the damage down, so it is not enough. Sees the target, no way has to take down. Level 18 Crocodile. Quadra kill at the end there as well.
Yep.
and
even here, they're like totally serious. They're like, oh, okay. Coming on this, you see like Life's got his hand on his mouth. He's like, I don't know. But after the turrets go down, things get a bit more
also
relief.
Really, credits to Hanwha Life's meta reads, because them being able to identify that Renekton blind is fine if you ban Rumble, that you can go for these type of team fighting drafts if you can execute on it, that the Wukong is still fine provided that you have the necessary backup, can all work out. Game number 2 left me wanting more, and Hanwha Life, I think, a very deserved 2-0 here tonight, but I would have loved another brawl. That was fun.
I mean, I'm looking at the schedule. I think that the only team really that Humble Life Esports have left, I mean, they have Gnomeshim, they have DRX, but then they have Gen G. Week 9, so that's going to be really interesting.
They might solidify third by that point. Maybe KT beats Gen G drops a little bit. That could be a great match.
That could be a really fun one. But yeah, Humble Life Esports continuing on their rise to the top. We'll see just how far they can go. But guys, we're done here on the caster desk. Let's go over to the space and see what they had to say about that one.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Amazing cast on the day. And Humble Life Esports with a 2-0 in this one. Understandable given some of the situations that are going on over at T1, but I don't think the gameplay level that we saw, especially out of the rookie jungler, was what we're expecting. I think exceeding some expectations. Let's jump into the draft here, because we did have some shenanigans being thrown around.
Yeah, we saw the Galio support come out. This was kind of like the old school counter to Rakan when he was like first released, because a lot of champions struggle to like CC the Rakan when he goes in because he's so mobile. You know, like that's why Braum's bad into him. You can't stack up the passive. But the Galio's very responsive with the taunt. Like you just stand on your AD, you taunt and can lock it up. And also, I feel like one of the things with Galio is I love when he's paired with Engage. Like Vi goes in and you have the follow up to layer it. He's not great at his primary Engage, but good at secondary. So I think overall, like, considering you have the Kai'Sa, you have this strong combo in the mid jungle that, although Ahri has fallen off quite a bit, still has good synergy. I felt like T1 had the tools this game to find a win.
My issues with T1's draft are that you're relying on the Vi Ahri, which is a very strong combo, but it's Poby, right? He's a rookie player. He doesn't have a ton of experience with this roster. I think that synergy needs to be there if you're going to be piloting a comp like this. And while the Galio does kind of follow up on this hard dive, you're playing into Xayah, so you knew that from the outset. You're playing into Azir, and then this Wukong pick that came out was, I feel like, such a fantastic answer when everyone on T1 wants to be in about a Wukong Cyclone-sized circle in every single fight. It's not going to be great if he's got his R button available, and he often did when they decided to pile into those choke points.
Yeah, he did, and I was actually very worried when we saw the Wukong locked in. I think that Wukong has looked middling at best, and the nerfs really have kind of struck home. We saw a lot of players trying to make it work until most people just gave up. it kind of figured it out. There was a little bit of stealing away kills and things like that for Grizzly in this game, but I think that got him to the items that he needed in order to survive for that little bit longer. Let's jump into our first highlight here, as towards the bottom side, we're just reminded that Viper is really good at the League of Legends video game.
Yeah, and honestly, a bit of an overstep by Life there. Tries to ult to turn it around. And this is a twofold point. You know, Viper obviously going for this aggressive, fantastic play, but also Guma completely misreads it with the flash. Allows the trader kills here, and then just doesn't quite have the damage to finish off Viper. So super clutch moment there. And this wasn't the only time Viper completely outplayed Guma, you see.
Yeah, Guma here in this case as well just gets completely destroyed. Here's the ult comes in on top of Grizzly, and this is the choke point Cyclone value was talking about. Like, literally 5 players just trying to push on top of that Cyclone, or 4, I guess, literally 4. But it felt like in every single team fight it was super easy, and then this play here, Guma's flash, definitely leaving a lot to be desired here. Thought maybe he could reach his way away. And yes, Viper goes down, but he had an incredible follow-up there. Deleting the enemy AD carry means when Zaya shows up, there's no follow-up damage.
Yeah, and this was off the back of Kingen dying in the 1v1 towards the top side of the map as well that we chose not to show. There's quite a few things that we couldn't actually show because it was a brawl. The casters were talking about it the whole time. Like, it was just constant action, constant fighting for both of these teams. But it did feel like HarmorLife Esports were just getting that little bit more out of it over and over again. And I think to, like, go on the point of Kingen really closing out this game extraordinarily well, yeah, he lost in that 1v1, but every team fight, the Renekton value was so high. And it's not something that I'm used to saying.
And I think, honestly, this is why Renekton's been such a menace, because obviously strong in the laning phase, but when it comes to these team fights, the way the meta is now is you obviously want to focus down the AD carry. You can see Viper getting a lot thrown towards him, but it means that in the meantime, the Renekton is just running rampant. Has that ultimate doing so much AoE damage, just picking out targets one by one and deleting them from the game.
Yeah, and also when you're piling on top of this Renekton, like, his Q is going to get massive healing. His Gore Drinker is going to get massive healing. So even this Renekton ends up being pretty anti-T1's composition here, and the value is quite high.
Yeah, picks up the quadra kill towards the end there as well. Owner denying him the Penta for a very, very long time. We decided to not show the entirety of the Nexus being destroyed. But HarmorLife Esports, like, you go then into the POG conversation that we're going to have around the corner, and it's going to be difficult to guess exactly who's going to get it, although the Crocodile is looking like safe money. Grizzly, he's going to pick it up, though, and I think Wolf stated it correctly in the scoreline, Steven, from last time around. This time, 7, 2, and 10. Looking fantastic there. And honestly, like, being able to make the Wukong work as well is a bit more credit even than game number 1.
When T1 sure wasn't that impressive, but he got the job done in so many of these pivotal team fights. And even though he is a known kill stealer, I think the scoreline here is 17 kills out of the total here. Quite a high KP, and I mean, he just didn't mess up, and he doesn't look like a player who hasn't been playing with this roster. It looks like he really is fitting with this team, as it will be a split vote at the end of the day.
Yeah, I actually really quite like the fact that there's a lot of people getting votes because I felt like it was a team effort in this one. But Grizzly, we now get to have that solo POG interview, which I think is what most of us were looking forward to.
You get to see all that Riz.
Yeah, and sometimes the G-Riz is all you really want to see, as I think that G-Sun will have that interview for us pretty quickly. But before that, some closing thoughts, gentlemen, on this particular series.
I think if T1 can play this close to a HarmorLife that actually played really well tonight, I mean, there's still hope this team bounces back in a big way on Faker's return. So I think if you're a T1 fan, you don't feel too bad about a 0-2 here, especially when you consider that you definitely were the underdogs coming into this one and you play them this close.
I just feel like we obviously go on about it a lot, but Grizzly has been such a fantastic addition to this roster. And it's night and day how this team looked at the start of the split. I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, God, are we going to have to send this team to Worlds? Because they look like the top 4, but they weren't super convincing. Yeah. Now I feel like there's new life has been breathed into this team. And I love tuning in and coming to the days when we have HarmorLife Esports playing. Whereas before I was like, oh, you know, I'm going to have to go through that, but now I'm like, let's go.
It's like Grizzly is actually the life insurance for the team. He comes in, sorts it out. It's just so beautiful. Anyway, let's throw it over to G-Sun for some interview translation with Grizzly.
플레이오프 Thank you very much, guys. This is Jisun for the PUG interview translation, and we are here joined by the solo PUG on the side of Honda Life Esports, Grizzly. Congratulations on the win and also advancing to the playoffs. Another solo PUG, Grizzly. Congratulations on that as well. 4 PUGs in a row. How do you feel about that? Like my teammates were like just feeding me all the PUGs, so I want to say thank you to my teammates. You know, they were just like taking a really good care of me. So I've been checking some social media posts, and Hana Live, your chef actually made a special meal for you guys today. How did you like that? Do you think that helped you, win the series today? Of course, obviously, she's the best cook ever, and I think the resurgence of Hana Life actually has something to do with the good food at the same time. And she is giving all the buff possible. Kingen also mentioned that with this win up against T1 will begin our kind of graduation of our title of the East Slayer. How are you guys able to be so confident about today's series? Kingen, every time he's confident regardless of the opponent. And today we were really confident. All 5 of us were like, we can carry this series, so we were feeling good about the series. So game number 1, Grizzly, your Viego was popping off from the get-go. 8-0 and 1 KDA in the end. And then game 2, 7-2 and 10. You are a rookie player, you are a jungler, but how are you able to have such a fine KDA every time? I think I'm pretty good at, skirmishes, but it's more about my teammates just like carrying me, so I'm able to kind of have a glow up of my KDA. Are you happy with your numbers today? Pretty much. So, Viego is the most picked champion in your career, and I think you are pretty, good at kind of capitalizing on the characteristic of that champion. Viego is not an easy champion to execute at the best level. How do you rate this champion right now? I think it's pretty much on top of the tier list, but you have to have the presence of mind when you play Viego. You have to keep calm. That's the key. So keep calm is the tip coming from Grizzly when you play Viego. We had 4 bans, kind of targeting you in game number 2. I guess T1 also admitted that you are the clutch factor on the side of Hana Life. How did you feel about that? I didn't see it as a target ban or like target towards me, it was just like banning some of the meta and first tier champions right now, so I was not too bothered by it. In game 2, it was more about the top side of the map.
It's just
we had
the
a
team.
comment saying Grizzly Wukong reminds me of Kanavi's Wukong. What do you think about that? Like, there's no way some people can compare me to Kanavi. Like right now, looking at our roster, Zeka and Viper are like hard carry damage dealers on our team, so I could rely on them. Grizzly, you are on the up and up, and we all love you. You are now one of the big characters in the LCK. Do you have any role models in mind? Well, personally, I just look up to Peanut. I think it's really cool.
Lose. All the time.
My videos can be a little spooky, but you know what's more spine-chilling? Paying full price for something when there are coupon codes hiding in the shadows out there.
Honey?
They're not always easy to find, however.
Fucking honey
That's
ad?
where today's sponsor Honey comes in. Honey is the free online shopping tool that scours the internet.
Doesn't
for
work in our
promos and
country.
automatically tests them when you're checking out. Shoes, computers, video games, pizzas, whatever you're looking to buy,
Pizzas?
this virtual pod of golden goodness helps track down those discounts.
No.
Best of all, making those savings couldn't be simpler. Get Honey on your computer for free in 2 easy clicks. Then, whenever you're about to check out online, Honey pops right up, and all you've got to do is click the Apply Coupons button. Wait a few seconds as Honey finds a working coupon code, and if it does, watch those prices get slashed. Recently, I had to update my microphone since the old one was getting a little unreliable. Nothing
Where
takes
did
you out of
that
a horror
not
story
go?
like audio, let me tell you.
Jesus, it just
by having Honey on my
zoomed.
desktop, I saved a cool 20% on my new mic. So if you've got a computer, Honey should definitely be on it. Get Honey for free by going to joinhoney.com/lazymasquerade. Again, that's joinhoney.com/lazymasquerade, so they know I sent you. Thanks Honey for sponsoring today's video.
Honey.
Take a look at this photo. Just 3 goofy girls being silly for the camera and having a good time, right? Not quite. The girl on the right is Skylar Nice. By Sheila Eddy and Rachel Schoaf, the 2 other girls in this picture, whom she went to school with and considered her best friends. In reality, Sheila and Rachel were warped, sadistic individuals. They had mutually decided that they just didn't like Skylar, and for no other reason than that, had formulated a plot to take her life.
Damn.
For months, they discussed how they'd do it, and even told some of their other classmates about their plan.
They just didn't like this one girl, so they decided to take her life.
During those months of preparation, they both continued to hang out with Skylar, pretending to be her closest friends, just like they were doing in this image. July 6th, 2012. At 12:30 AM, Skylar snuck out of her bedroom window to meet up with Sheila and Rachel. The pair had coerced her into hanging out with them that night through texts and calls. At first, Skylar was hesitant, but the duo weren't going to take no for an answer. Skylar got into the back of Sheila's 4-door sedan, and the 3 of them drove off to a spot where they usually relaxed at, just across the Pennsylvania border. There, all 3 of them got out the vehicle. That's when one of the perps told Skylar that they had forgotten their lighter in the car. Would she be a doll and go and fetch it for them? Skylar turned around and headed back to the sedan. That's when Sheila and Rachel counted to 3, their predetermined signal. On 3, they pulled out a pair of blades and rushed Skylar, tackling her to the ground and puncturing her more than 50 times. They continued until, in Rachel's own words, Skylar's neck stopped making gurgling sounds. Sheila and Rachel were pure evil, but they were far from evil geniuses. They tried to dig a hole in which to hide Skylar's remains, but didn't realize that the soil in the area was too hard and rocky to unearth. They planned this thing for months on end and literally fell at the first hurdle. Improvising, they instead covered Skylar with rocks and branches, then disposed of their clothes and went home. The following day, Skylar was reported missing. Sheila shamelessly helped Skylar's family distribute missing person posters, and later made this post on Twitter trying to cover her tracks. It eventually became clear that investigators were hot on their heels. Hoping for a reduced sentence, on January 3rd, 2013, Rachel confessed to what she and Sheila had done that fateful night. She led detectives to where they had hidden Skylar, and at last, the Nice family were given some modicum of closure. As for Sheila and Rachel, they were given 40 years and 30 years, respectively. They'll both be eligible for parole
Another
in the
virus.
not-too-distant future. This photo was taken in 1979 outside the Ghost Train attraction at Luna Park, Sydney. The boy in the photo was Damien Godson. He, his parents, and his brother had spent the day at the theme park, enjoying many of the classic rides. With their last tickets, the family decided to ride the Ghost Train. Before they got on, the mother, Jenny Godson, took this photo of her son and
One of
she
the
assumed
cards.
was a park actor. This was the Ghost Train after all. Jenny then went to get some ice cream, while her husband and 2 sons went to enjoy the ride. When she returned, she noticed smoke billowing out from the Ghost Train. The ride had been completely consumed by a fire. 35 people were on the ride when the fire broke out. 7 of them never made it out. including Jenny's husband, John, her youngest son, Craig, and of course, Damien. How the fire actually started remains a mystery to this day. Some suspect it may have been the result of faulty wiring, while others suspect foul play. Abe Saffron, a notorious figure in the Australian underworld, was known to have started at least 7 other fires in the local area for his own gain. It's speculated that he may have caused the blaze as a way to get Luna Parks shut down. Saffron had apparently tried to buy the park several years earlier, but his offer was turned down. This may have been his way of getting revenge, or perhaps a way for him to purchase the park at a greatly reduced rate. Still, that's just speculation. Sometime later, when Jenny finally mustered the strength to look through the photos she had taken that fateful day, she came across the last picture that she had taken of Damien, standing alongside the horned figure. She recalled how that masked man had approached the family without saying a word, then silently placed his hand on Damien's shoulder. At the time, she had just assumed he was an actor for the Ghost Train. As it turns out, he wasn't. Luna Parks didn't employ any costumed actors. Given how creepy this photo is, and the fact that it was taken just before the fire started, there are of course those who think this masked man was behind it all in some way. Some even go as far as to say that he was some sort of demonic figure, an omen of sorts. I wouldn't go that far. But still, after learning about what happened to Damien, there's no denying this photo has an ominous vibe. There have been extensive efforts to identify this man in the photo. All of those efforts have failed. This harrowing, colorized image from 1913 shows a woman condemned to death in Mongolia. This type of punishment was known as immurement, which literally means walling in. It's been used as a punishment in various places throughout history, but by the 1900s was basically unheard of. Outside of Mongolia, that is. There, it was still being used to oppress protesters and quote-unquote troublemakers. What this particular woman did to deserve such a cruel fate remains unknown, but whatever the case, when she received her sentence, she was locked within this large crate and left in the middle of nowhere to slowly expire. The only food given to her would have been honey and other laxatives, which in turn would have attracted insects that would later feast on her carcass and lay eggs inside her. This food was given to her once a day, during which time the hole in her crate would have been opened. At all other times, that hole would have been plugged, leaving her in total blackness. It's terrible to imagine what her final days must have been like inside that wooden tomb. Hungry, thirsty, hot, scared, and alone. It doesn't bear thinking about. This foreboding image is the studio portrait of the Lawson family, taken just before Christmas in 1929. As you can see, they're all dressed rather fancily. Strange, considering they were a rural, working-class family. You see, Charles, the head of the household, had gathered his family together and driven them from Germantown to Winston-Salem, where he bought them all suits and dresses for their family photo. He explained this away as a Christmas splurge, a gift for the whole family to enjoy. In reality, it was all part of a dark plan he'd been brewing for some time. On the afternoon of December 25th, Charles Lawson sent his eldest son, Arthur, out on an errand which took him away from the house. Charles then calmly loaded his 12-gauge and sat alone by the family barn. As his daughters Carrie and Mabel left the main house to visit their aunt and uncle, he quietly waited for them to come into range, took aim, and blasted them down before bashing them both in the head.
Why?
Immediately afterwards, he walked towards the main house, and, one by one, took out his remaining family members. His wife, who was sitting on the porch, his now screaming daughter Marie, his sons, James and Raymond, who were hiding inside, and finally, little Mary Lou. The eldest son, Arthur, soon returned to the house, and found a crowd of people and officers gathered outside. They'd all heard the commotion. They found the Lawson family scattered around the property, with their arms crossed and rocks over their faces. Not long after that, they heard a final bang ring out from the nearby forest. It was Charles. He'd gone to the woods to end his own existence. It's theorized Charles sent Arthur out to run the errand, not because he had a deep love for his son, but because the stocky Arthur would have fought to protect them. Unfortunately, Arthur's story doesn't have a happy ending either. He was involved in a motor accident in 1945 and perished at the age of 32. Why Charles Lawson felt the need to spend a fortune dressing his family up to get their portraits taken days before slaughtering them is up for debate. In my mind, it's a sort of "we were here" statement. Photographs were a rare luxury back then, especially for working class people like the Lawsons. Charles wanted to leave behind evidence that he existed, and that his victims existed too. A final Christmas gift of sorts. More for himself than them, I'm sure. I guess his plan to be remembered worked, since because of this photo, we're still talking about him today. In the days after the massacre, Charles's own brother turned the house into a morbid tourist attraction and charged visitors to look around the house where his relatives met their untimely ends. I guess the concept of a caring family was lost on him too. Diving can be dangerous at the best of times, but cave diving is another beast altogether. Unlike during a regular dive, with cave diving, you can't just swim directly upwards if you encounter a problem with your equipment. You have to frantically make your way back through the rocky labyrinth you're stuck in. When your oxygen levels suddenly deplete and time isn't on your side, it's no wonder that under such circumstances, so many divers fail to make it back to the surface. Other times, divers simply get stuck in some tight passage or become disoriented and lost. The more frantic they become, the quicker their air supply goes down. Signs like this have been placed outside numerous underwater caves to try and prevent such loss of human life. You can't save everyone though. On January 8th of 2005, accomplished cave diver David Shaw swam through the dark waters of Bushman's Hole in South Africa. Bushman's Hole is an intricate cave, feared by even the most seasoned of divers, and has claimed several lives throughout the years. It had, in fact, claimed the life of David Shaw's close friend, Dion Dreyer, 10 years prior in 1994. Since then, Dion's body had remained in the cave. Now with 10 extra years of diving experience under his belt, David decided he was going to recover the body of his long-lost friend, Dion. A noble quest. Sadly, one that was destined to end terribly. Just like Dion before him, David entered Bushman's Hole and never resurfaced. Before embarking on the dive, David had attached an underwater camera to his goggles and recorded his entire recovery effort. This was one of the last images he captured on his ill-fated mission. The diving goggles of his friend, Dion. David had found his remains. From the rest of the footage, other divers realized what had happened to David himself. At a depth of 725 feet, he was subjected to immense pressures that made breathing extremely difficult. He then ran into more difficulties when Dion's body began to float. This was unexpected. Experts had told David that Dion's remains wouldn't be buoyant, but in reality, his body had turned into a soap-like substance, which did in fact float, making the recovery 10 times more difficult. While struggling to pull his friend out of the cave, David became entangled in the lines of Dion's body bag, and the physical effort to free himself, combined with how difficult it was to breathe, led to his demise. Both David and Dion were later recovered. This next set of photos comes from Reddit user Whitney Renibi. Whitney's family live in a relatively rural part of Oklahoma. Last year, her mother was going through pictures on her phone when she came across 3 that stood out. One was of her husband, sleeping. One was of her youngest daughter, sleeping. And one was of herself, sleeping. They'd all been taken on the same night at around 3 in the morning. Nobody inside the house had taken any of the photos, and none of them had a history of sleepwalking. "I'm including all 3 pictures," said Whitney, "but the strangest one of them all is the pic of my mum. It appears as if whoever took the picture was kneeling down next to the bed, beside her, almost by her face. If you play around with the saturation, this can be seen in the background of one of the images." In the post, Whitney goes on to add that her family has 5 dogs that all bark at the slightest noise. None of them made a peep that night. The thought of someone else or maybe even something else, being in your home and taking photos of you while you sleep is, ironically, enough to keep anyone awake at night. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the work of alternative R&B artist Frank Ocean. For those of you who don't know him, he's made some of the most critically acclaimed albums in the genre and has an extremely dedicated fanbase. That being said, he's notoriously private, and very little is known about his personal life. As such, even if you have heard of him, you probably didn't know that back in August of 2020, Frank's brother Ryan, 18, was sitting in the passenger seat of a car being driven by his friend, Ezekiel Bishop. As the two of them drove through Thousand Oaks well above the speed limit, Ezekiel lost control of the Tesla. The vehicle collided with a tree at high speed, was cut in half on impact, and burst into flames. And Zeke perished immediately. After hearing the news, Frank rushed to the scene in his GT3. This image shows Frank Ocean sat on the side of the road in a state of complete shock, having just learned that his brother was gone. He sits below a speed limit sign, adding a chilling dimension to the image. Frank and Ryan were both extremely close. Ryan's voice is even featured on the track Futura Free on Frank's 2016 album, Blonde. Knowing that this is what became of him, it's ominous hearing his young voice pop up at the end of the record. Frank also later released a track called Orion, dedicated to the brother he lost. When we're young, we all have a tendency to be reckless. We feel invincible, and unfortunately, some of us pay the ultimate price for that. This image is a chilling reminder to drive responsibly. This happy-looking couple are Zach Bowen and Addie Hall. They started dating in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, and seemed to be at their happiest during that period, where there was no electricity, no bills to pay, no work to be done. The pair of them were free spirits, and the lack of responsibility they felt during that period was something they savoured. Eventually, life went back to normal, however, and with it came the stress of actually having to work, both at their jobs and at their relationship. To make matters more difficult, they both had their own personal issues, which I won't go into detail about here. In short, their pasts were bleak. As real life started to take a hold, the pair began to fight constantly. When Addie learned that Zach had cheated on her, that was the final straw. On October 5th, 2006, she went to their landlord and tried to have Zach's name removed from the lease. The landlord refused, saying that the pair of them had to work out their relationship problems together. The landlord refused, saying that to have Zach's name removed from the lease.
Oh, may pusa.
The landlord refused, saying that the pair of them had to work out their relationship problems together. That landlord would be the last person to see Addie alive. 12 days later, on October 17th, the authorities in New Orleans received a call from the Omni Royal Orleans Hotel,